Oh, hey yo. Let's see, Henry. Let's see if my alarm wakes me up. Hopefully it does. By the way, I just started following Instagram. Now I'm just waiting for delivery. All right, so build it. Be shipped to Spain. Nice time shift. Buenas noche. Hopefully you're still around. Victor, let's see. Sounds like a great subject tonight. I'll be dropping by the time you start, but I will be listening. This should be interesting. Well, thank you, sir. Nanos. Hey, yo. How you doing this evening? Camp House, what's going on? Corey Lingle. Is it Lingle? Oh, hold on 1 second. It looks like my lens is a little uh all right, that looks a little better. What's going on? Byron, how you doing this evening? Danny Gutierrez, how you doing this evening? Pat Conti, hey, to you too. Oh, perfect. Cheers. Or should I say, salud. Jay, what's going on, man? How you doing? Hopefully everything's good with you, wife, and the kid. Holy cow. A bunch of you guys came in all at the same time. Well, I know we started it. Let me get my... So let's see. We got Jimmy, Cuff and Stuff. Big Rome in the house. Travis, what's up, man? How you doing, good brother? William Reed, hello to you too. Jack says we are on time. Hey, Jack. Hi, Betty. Don, how you doing this evening? Holy cow, Jay, from a 14-hour shift? Shoo. Fantasy barbecue, how you doing? Well, Jay, I know it's about time for some of your medicine. So go ahead and sit down and work on that. Mr. Hernandez, what's going on with you, man? All right, so Leno says, hit that thumbs up button, everyone. So if you haven't already, please do hit that thumbs up. It really does not only make me feel better about doing these videos and hanging out with you guys, it really does help these videos and my channel. So I am very appreciative when you do hit the thumbs up button for me. It really, really, really does help. All right, Sean, how you doing this evening? Jay says all he's been doing is working. Well, hopefully that's a good problem to have, right, Jay? Randy, what's going on? What's going on? Holy cow! We have a bona fide celebrity up in the building. Dr. Ramirez. What's up, Doc? The good Dr. Cooks is in the building. Hopefully everything is going well with you and yours. I'm trying to get this all set up. I want to stay in a normal spot because this was the normal spot in the beginning, and then I started, sitting out there in my family room. But my wife is actually sitting in the family room playing friggin' Animal Crossing right now. So if you hear it, that you know what it is. Hey Doc, I know, man. It's going. Well, there, yes, good to be seen. I was gonna say good to see you too. Good to be seen. Yeah, Jay, right? How's she been? Yeah, tell us what's going on with you. How everything health wise? You doing better? I know we talked about and I see, yo, you killing the game on Instagram right now, cooking. I see you. I see you. Yeah, Walter, awesome. Peace. So this evening, nothing hard, nothing real crazy as far as the drink for the night, but I'm already tired, and if I drank liquor, I'd be yawning and start talking about it. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. Dale, what's going on? Snow in the forecast. Holy cow, where are you, Dale? Barbecue 951. Got my Lang last weekend. I hope to get it fired up this weekend. Well, good luck with that, man. Health wise, much better. Working on some videos for TikTok and my YouTube channel. Looking at smokers to start selling some barbecue up here in Connecticut. Word. Word. What's your TikTok, Doc? I'm on TikTok. I don't post anything really. I'm more of a voyeur than anything. Just laugh at all the story times. And people have gotten real creative during the shelter in place order. That's all I got to say. But I guess I'll have to figure out and look you up. Rich, what's going on? Gerald, just a little taste barbecue. What's up? Glad to see that you're doing well. All the stuff that's going on. Yes, indeed, I am too. Glad you. All right. To be honest, isn't it? I forgot bored in the basement. No, she's been playing Animal Crossing for the past 2 or 3 weeks now. Holy cow! Walter's talking about 100+ degrees there in California, and I'll take snow over 100+ degrees any day. Troy, great cook by you yesterday. Well, thank you very much, man. I've told you guys, or some of you guys know or are aware that a lot of times those cooks, like that cook that you saw yesterday, was filmed 2 weeks ago. Excuse me. See, I start talking about yawning, and I'll start yawning, and now I'm starting yawning. So it's kind of funny when I post those videos. Then I have to think back to the day that cook happened. The whole thing is why I do that is I try to have a schedule, and it keeps me ahead of time. So in case a cook fails or a video fails or I forget to record something, I'm not pressed. Like I would sometimes be filming a video tonight or today for tomorrow, and I don't like doing that. I've done too many of those, so I try to film them ahead of time. So I try to stay a week or two in advance. Yeah, I'm on TikTok, Doc. Just watching though. Hey, Uncle Steve, how you doing? Uncle Steve, you know what I did yesterday? I did some beef ribs, and I used that thick meat seasoning. It turned out pretty darn good. But the beef ribs, I just posted a picture on Instagram for those of you guys who are following me on Instagram. But I used the thick meat seasoning. I was about to set it up this week. I said 3 videos I can upload. Well, that's what's up, Doc. Do it, do it, do it. So the topic. Use the countertop unless I headed to a catering gig. I don't want anything to overcook with that heat staying in the cooler. Nano, that's exactly my thought. Exactly my thought. The whole thing is, especially when it comes to brisket, for me, I like to let things cool, like drastically, for brisket especially, before I cut it up. Now, so sorry. Now, pork shoulder, on the other hand, pork shoulder I will let sit for half an hour, 45 minutes, under an hour before I pull it, because when you're pulling pork shoulder at 150 plus 160 degrees, that is the best time to pull it. And then, of course, as soon as you start pulling it apart, it's going to cool rapidly. So put on some of those, cotton liners, and then put on a nitrile glove over top of it. Get the pulling. Troy is 97 in Pasadena. Well, there's a Pasadena in Maryland, and I can tell you it's not 97 degrees in Pasadena, Maryland. Fantasy barbecue. Since I got my Humphrey's Battle Box, it's a little. I guess it's a lot like. Oh, it's like a little Vicky. Reading words since you won't sell. No, I won't sell her. Uh, Fantasy. You're Taylor. Taylor, is it? Is it Taylor? I think I watched your videos. I think I watched and commented, right? I know somebody got a Humphreys recently, and they were like, "Hey, I got my, cook. I got my Humphrey battle box." Buenas noche, obrigado, Omar. Good evening to you too. I'm doing just fine. Uncle Steve, I said hey already. Want to say hey again. And yes, it really was awesome, sir. I saw a brisket the other day, $40 is going on buy it. I had no room in the freezer for it. Dag, man. Paul, you could have got it in the refrigerator, Jay, and then put it in the freezer once you have room. What's up, Paul? Hey, yo. There's a very fine line between undercooked and overcooked with brisket. You're absolutely correct. And that's my whole thing. I agree with you 100%. Why would you take something out of the smoker and you know that the heat is still going to rise for a little while, put it in the cooler so that it'll rise and hold at that 200 plus degree or 200 or whatever degree or almost 200-degree temperature? Nah. So just like I've told you guys before, I will let stuff cool, cut it, warm it back up, then hot hold it. I don't want to hot hold it when I before I've sliced it up. Uncle Steve says some folks here in Texas need to watch their cattle a little closer. So what you trying to say, Uncle Steve? Is that how you get ideas for your shake? You're wrangling now, John. How are you doing this evening, sir? Mimi Kill, hello to you. Lamont, okay. So there's a couple people that got those fantasy or the Humphrey battle boxes. There was somebody else who got one, and his name was Taylor. I'm pretty sure it was Taylor. He got one, but I look pretty daggone dope. If the point where rested meat is for it to cool, why do people wrap it in towels and put it in the cooler? Sounds like it keeps meat hot. John, exactly. Exactly. It's like that the most counterproductive thing that you can do to me is to hold it in a cooler while it's hot when you're supposed to be resting it. And to me, all it's going to do is cook more. And I feel like the only true way to really demonstrate this is to actually put it in video and show the difference. But I don't have two brisket experiment money. Let's put it that way. Got to pull these ribs, post the pic in the community photos later. All right, that's what's up. No problem, John. Thank you, sir, and good luck with the salmon this weekend. Just Miller Lights tonight, man. Just beer. So I'm already. I was saying earlier that I was already tired and yawning, and I didn't want to drink liquor. I found that as soon as I say, as soon as I say that word, I yawn. So I was, like I said, I was tired. I found that on these live streams when I drink liquor, I'm like falling off and more tired than I am when I drink beer. So I'm like, I want a mellow night tonight. Let's just have talk and shoot. Uncle Steve, you're not lying. I'm having a difficult time finding protein myself. Nah, John, I thought about them the other day. I was like, man, because in the video you see tomorrow, I actually talk about when I cooked that tenderloin that Porter and York sent me, and I talked about how it blooms. So basically, it's the oxidation. But like I said, in the video tomorrow, you'll hear me say something about it. And after I said it, I was like, man, I would love to hear back from Porter and York, and they sent me something out. But nope. Sean, how you doing this evening? If it gets any worse, we like that guy on Facebook that put an entire cam on a giant smoker. Dude, I can't tell you how many times I got tagged in that video. And the first time or two, I'm like, man, you cooked an entire cow? And then I'm looking harder and I'm looking harder and I'm looking harder. I'm like, yo, that's a camel. Like, now I've heard camel is actually a very lean meat. I wouldn't mind trying camel, but you know, obviously I don't have access to a camel nor a smoker that big. So, but if one and one come together, Uncle Steve, I might have to let you know. Is there anyone in the Northeast builds vertical smokers? Everything's coming out of Texas. Dale, I don't know. You're probably gonna have to try to find someone to make one custom for you, because that's how mine was made. It was a custom made. Uh, it was a custom made, like a homemade smoker. Uh, like 20 pounds of thick meat, 10 pounds of spice yard dust with it. While resting. Yeah. So what do you guys do? Are you cooling your meat sitting on the counter, or are you one of these folks, the guys that wraps it up in a towel and puts it in the cooler, or are you using Cambros, the hot hold? Tell me, what are you guys doing? I don't want to just and here's the thing: why are you doing it that way? Because to me, logically thinking about it, again, I think if you take it out of the smoker and it's at or about 200 degrees and you wrap it in a towel, you put it in a cooler, you're going to it's going to carry on. The cook is going to carry on. So I kind of would like to know your thoughts about that. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, John says taking vacation during the stuff going on is not the same, but I do get to watch SDSBBQ. Well, John, thank you, sir, so very much. As I really do, guys, I can't say thank you enough for you guys watching. Seriously, you guys watching are the motivation for me to keep filming and to keep pushing and to keep, doing new things with the videos. And I'm hoping you guys are liking. I've been trying to do some different things with the videos, with the edits recently, and it's just of course it's taking me longer. The edits are taking me longer because I'm trying to go over them with a more finite comb, but I am trying to step up the game as you would, and make the videos more, not necessarily more entertaining, but visually better looking. All right, so Dale says he wraps his brisket in a towel and leaves it on the counter. Paul says, I thought my brisket in the microwave. Wait, I thought my brisket in the microwave or in the oven, of course, is turned off. Okay. So I mean, that's not too bad, Paul. But like Dale says he wraps it in a towel and leaves it on the counter. Even wrapping it in a towel, I think, is going to, hold some heat in there for probably, I won't say longer than you want. But then again, I am also trying to bring that temperature in the brisket down, not rapidly, but faster, so that I can actually cut it up in a decent amount of time. And also, typically I'm cooking for customers, so I have a deadline or I have a timetable that I have to get, stuff done. Hating cold foods. I let it rest for a few and eat it. I don't let it rest to cook longer. I cook it to eat. Right, Jay? Sweet Lou, what's up, Lou Calamanis? How you doing this evening, sir? He says, hey, yo. Whoa. What is up? Nothing much, man. Hopefully all is well with you and yours. Uh, you know, hopefully you're keeping yourself busy and sane. If you guys haven't, Lou is one of the latest to actually delve into putting videos up on YouTube. So if you could, check out his channel. Taste lesson number 3 is walking past with snake face. What's wrong with you? Nothing. All right. Lep says I'm in Northeast Ohio and you don't hear anyone build a smoker's barbecue trailers, more food trucks. Yep. Cool on the counter in the pan. Loosely tinted with foil. That's my MO as well. I do the same thing. Okay, so John, that's a good one. He says he pulls them just before temp and places them in the oven. Now, are you placing them in the oven to let the carryover hit the temperature that you want, or are you like finishing them in the oven? Just you have to be real specific with us. We know what we're talking about when it comes to barbecue. Nano says Texas biggest grocery store just isn't carrying brisket right now. They're grinding them up for ground beef. I saw that today. I saw someone post that. Who was it? James from Aimum and Claimum. I saw he posted on Facebook talking about he went to his HEB and they were saying that they're going to grind the, or yeah, be grinding the briskets up to make ground beef. Briskets, pork shoulder, freezing them. Yep. I cook frozen briskets and frozen pork shoulders all the time. And if I cooked one that was not frozen and versus one that was frozen, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Dale says I feel it keeps the juices inside and I don't cut the meat until it cools down to 130 degrees. All right. Henry says I've eaten camel, but I can't say I liked it. Probably the cook messed it up. Uh, and we were not allowed outside as we were in the south of Libya, and amongst the local tribe was over tribe wars over water supply. As Gaddafi built a 4 mile pipe, it's Mediterranean to dry out the south. Wow. JG, what's up? I wrap and leave it on the counter also. Okay. Jimmy says I've always wrapped brisket in a towel, the rest never put it in a cooler. Was told slows cooling down and absorbs more of the moisture back into the meat. I don't know. Let's see. Doc says she puts meat usually in an aluminum pan with some foil and places it in the oven off, but that's for eating with the family. Yep. Jimmy says I pull it 195. Yeah, uh, yeah. Just gotta go a little further. But then again, you could be pulling them at 195, wrapping them in a towel, and then they're getting closer to that 200 or 200 plus, and you might be fine. Henry says back to topic. Wrestling also has an origin of being able to cook and have ready at a specific time, so it is just as necessary. Or is there science? I don't know, Henry. I try and a lot of you guys have figured out that I cook logically. I think about the things that I'm doing, and taste tester number two is trying to sneak by. You know, when they try to slink by, they make more noise than they would if they just walked through here. But then again, he drags his feet when he walks through here, so maybe he was being a little quieter. Um, but I'm not sure, Henry, if there's a specific science to it, or if it's just folklore, or old wives' tales. I don't know. Lou says so. I let it rest for like 10 minutes ish for the temp to come down a little, so it doesn't continue to cook. Then I'll wrap in a towel. If I need to hold it for a while, he'll use a cooler. No worries, Lou. Have I ever tried buffalo? I mean, aside from like buffalo, like a buffalo burger, I've never actually cooked buffalo to eat. But I've had like bison burgers and things like that. So, but that's about it. Cut the rib on the grill. Oh, yeah. Looks like it's off the grill anyways. Yeah. Wait. Does anybody pull by feel? I have had briskets at the same time. I had different temperatures. Yes. So the whole thing is now no I one a brisket that's close to 200 degrees is too daggone hot. But I'll use the thermometers to let me know when the temperature is about right, and then start probing. And it's like, okay, I'll start probing, and if it's right, then okay, I'll pull it. If it's not right, I'll let it go for a little while longer. Mm. Pull the temp, put it in the pan, and put it in foil, and leave it on the counter. Never understand the wrap in a towel and put it in the cooler. Grumpus, hey yo, how you doing this evening? I agree, Rich. I don't either. I missed the dash. What's my method? My method is I will pull, I'll let the brisket hit temperature, and then I will probe it. As long as it feels good, I will take and tent or vent the foil, because you guys have seen I almost always like 98, 99% I'm doing in a foil pan. And then I will just crack the foil pan, let it cool on the counter for at least an hour, hopefully, and or sometimes two before I will cut up a brisket. And then I will cut the brisket up, and if they're going out for an event or something like that, I will hopefully build in enough time to get that brisket maybe back into the oven to warm it back up a little bit before I travel to the event if I need to serve that brisket warm. If I don't need to serve that brisket warm, or if I'm just dropping it off, then I will adjust my cook time so that by the time I have half an hour, 45 minutes before I need to leave my house, I'm cutting the brisket up, wrapping it up, putting it in the pan, wrapping it up, and then I get it out the door and I travel to my destination. Uh, yep, that's it. Bushy Bato, how you doing this evening? Well, Rich, good for you, man. We might have to start hitting Rich up to get us meat. He'll have to send it out to the rest of the country. Tempest of God feels what you're looking for and never go by time on. Oh no, man. Have you never heard me say I never ever ever cook the time? I cook the internal temperature. I get lucky. I don't temp at all. Well, Jay, when you finally start temping, you can be like, wow, this is what they're talking about. You realize that every time you yawn, everyone else does too. You realize, John, when you say the word yawn, you make me yawn. I tried to cover up the yawn that time, so yeah. I mean, wow, it's not a lucky experience. I totally do observe what's happening with the fire and the meat. Yeah, I'm telling you, if the consistency though is there with temperature. Guessing and checking, it's not where it's at, fellas. Get yourself a $20 thermometer and step up your game. Hello, Pumpy. Tyler, what's going on, man? How you doing? Good to see you, sir. Following and smoking a 17-pound turkey in a few days. At what temp do you pull your turkeys, and do you just tent or wrap it? So I don't wrap the turkeys. I will, when I am cooking a turkey, I try to make sure that the breast is at 165 degrees, and excuse me, primarily cook my turkeys in Bessie. So the way the heat smoke come in Bessie, that comes off of the left side across everything. So I'll put the legs on the left side and the breast on the right side because the hotter side is on the left, and the heat is coming from the left. So what ends up happening is I like to pull, or I like to get the temperature in the thighs up to 170, 175 degrees, where the breast is at 165. And I will take the probe and I will hit the breastbone and then pull it back like an eighth of an inch, to make sure that I get that temperature. I don't just like stick it in halfway. No, I need to make sure that temperature, because the turkey breast is such a big piece of meat. I need to make sure that temperature is all the way down to that bone. I've had instances where I've temped turkeys incorrectly, and I've had a person or two. I actually told you guys about a woman who, she hit me up and she says, "Hey, just want to let you know the turkey was underdone." And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "Yeah, the turkey was underdone." She was like, "It was a little pink in the middle." I'm like, "Well, was that the smoke ring?" She's like, "No, no, no. Like way down when we got closer to the bone." And I said, "Look, I'm sorry." She said, "Well, what we did was they cut the turkey up completely and like cut it all up." And she said, "What I just did," she said, "I just threw it in the oven for a little while, but I just want to let you know." And as I'm on the phone with this lady, I gave her a refund. Like I sent her a refund. I'm like, "Hey, look, it's not how I roll. If you're not satisfied, I'm gonna give you your money back." And she said, "What did you do?" She said, "Wait a minute, what did you do?" I said, "I gave you your money back." She said, "Why would you do that?" I said, "I mean, I want you to be satisfied with what you had." She's like, "You didn't have to do that." I'm like, "I know I didn't have to, but I want to make sure you're satisfied." So I said, "This is not how I'm doing things. I want to make sure you like what you want, what you have, and everything is 100%." And she's like, "Oh my gosh!" And I mean, she's ordered from me multiple times since. It's just one of those things where, hey, I don't want to rub you the wrong way. I want to make sure that you get your money back, and if you're not satisfied, boom. Sometimes it's there's no questions asked. You just return stuff and give people their money back. But then there are other times you like I mean, I've told you guys before again, cooking chicken for people, cooking ribs for people, they see the smoke ring and they're like, it's underdone. The pink part is on the outside. That's not underdone. That's the cooking process does that. Now it's pink. All right, I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna argue with you. Only thing I really temp is chicken because the little one. Well, that's important, Jay and Mimi. So I started saying this, but I don't wrap turkeys. I let the turkeys smoke naked until they're done. Now, the one exception for that or to that is if the turkeys start to get dark, because of the smoke that's going in and through. I will cover them like lightly tint or cover them just so they don't get too much darker. I don't want the turkeys to burn, like the outside of the turkeys to burn while they're coming up to temperature and finishing. So that's the only thing. But I don't wrap turkeys while cooking. Now, the only time I wrap turkeys is for delivery, but I let the turkeys sit open, cool on the counter so they're not sweating once I wrap them up, cover them up in aluminum foil. Walter, he agrees with me. Yep, temperature, not time. Nano says I mostly pick my briskets up and feel around with my fingers. I found that there's a certain part of the flat that is the last to get tender. I feel that spot, and if it feels good, I pull it. All right. Mimi says never smoked a whole turkey. Come on, man. Yeah, just get it. Turkeys are not very difficult. The only bad thing about turkey is it takes patience. Now, I have a video. If you do a search through my videos, I have a video out there. It was called like smoking a whole turkey and turkey breast or something like that. I think I did it like 2 years ago, and I spell everything out, like the entire process. That video was like a half an hour, 45 minutes, and I talk through from thawing out the turkey, brining the turkey, seasoning the turkey, smoking the turkey. Only thing I didn't do was cut the turkey up. That was it. Barbecue 951 agrees with me. He says temperature is greater than time. How do you come up with the names of your grills and smokers? Ryan, they kind of come to me like all of those. They each grill and smoker they have their own personalities, man. They have the way that they're going to cook. They have the way that they treat me. Like I named Vicky after the girl I know, like who was she was she's a little wiry, if to say the least. And then Vicky treated me wrongly in the beginning. It was a struggle, so we were fighting, battling heads there. So look, hey, if you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up button for me. It's 40 plus of you guys here hanging out, and also if you haven't. Tell me how you rest your briskets or pork shoulders. Do you wrap them up and put them in a cooler? Or do you wrap them up and put them on the counter? Or do you just lightly tint and put it on the counter? I'm going to catch up to the comments. Grandpa says I usually put my briskets in a covered foil pan and leave it in the oven overnight. Since I'm pulling at 3 a.m. and getting ready at 6, I should start earlier. Well, nothing wrong with that, man. Letting it cool for 3 hours. Um, I don't think that's a big deal. Though the food safety nuts are, they would definitely hound you for that one. They're going to tell you that within an hour or 2 hours, you need to either hold it at 140 plus degrees or bring it down to 40 degrees, and that's just food safety. Uh, Bushy Bato, yeah, I never checked temp until I started following Dash. My cooks have been on point, John says. You know, I look every now and again. I have one of these things where it's like I'm telling you, the thermometers are game changers. Game changers. I don't cook anything for time anymore. Yeah, Grumpy says you can't rush it, Jason. You're right. Tyler says I have a few Cambro carriers and they work great to hold larger amounts of meat. They are phenomenal. I stand by Cambros. Man, I would love to be sponsored by Camro or something like that. I've been using Cambros for such a long time, and speak so highly of Cambros. The only bad thing is the green Cambros that I have, the bigger green Cambros. They don't have a very good seal because they pull the latches in the middle. So what happens is it pulls right in the middle and it bows the top and the bottom of the door, and they do leak. So if I have very or if I have meats that have a lot of juices in them, now I've stopped, carrying, transporting meats with a lot of juices in them. But there are times when you just tilt or this or that, and I use them or I do them. I'm pointing because the camera was sitting right behind me on the floor there in the small black camera because it has a rubber gasket, and that gasket does it. It is great for holding stuff in. Uh yeah, Jace says, see ribs you can tell because of the pullback on the bones and the chicken. I don't trust it. He said he tempts the chicken all day. Just too many regulations here for food preparation at home, so I will cook in a location in one chamber and rest in another. All right, then I'm not prepping food in advance. In an attempt of hygiene inspections, fire inspections, stores inspections, and all the hassle, I will sleep next to the smoker. That's exactly it. But you have to be careful sleeping next to the smoker. One, your fire could go. It can get away from you, and it can get away from you going too high or going too low. It just been there, done that in both directions. Tell us as big cooks. I'll finish one meat, toss it in the oven, and hold it depending on how much else I'm waiting on. All right. Nano says I've dealt with that many times. It's pink. It's supposed to be pink. All right, let me catch up. Remember that Chuck Rose dash that looked like a cake with the big smoke ring on? It's the first thing they said. Is it cooked? I got that once too. Riz and mine got pissed at the lady because they already explained to her about how barbecue works. Cooking 1.5. What's going on? Is it just the one or the 1.5 today? Jeff, what's going on? He says, hey, yo, what's in, what's now, what's wow? Dude, man, I'm already a couple beers in. You throwing tongue twisters at me? Come on, man. What's up? Jeff says, hello, everyone. Hope you're all happy and healthy. Yes, indeed. Oh, Paul has had one of my turkeys. He said, and my turkey is, he says, and the turkeys are banging. Rob, how you doing this evening? I feel like when you pop in, I feel compelled in the second hour to close out the second hour. I need a bourbon nightcap, and all I have left is Bullet. So it might, stick around. We might have to make that happen. Omar says put it in a foil pan and let it rest lightly covered till it gets to about 150 for better slicing. Money, I'm right there with you. Jeff says at 165, I wrap and foiled. 203, rest in the cooler 2 hours and take it out. Air it out, I guess, or take out air. Set 15 minutes and slice. So Jeff, you missed this earlier. When you're cooking, your whole thing is we know common wisdom says that there's going to be carryover on the temperature of the meat, right? So it's going to be carryover, and then if you take it off the smoker, there's still going to be carryover, and the temperature is going to be rising, so it's going to be cooking more. And then you wrap it in a towel, or you do whatever, and you put it in a cooler. The cooler is going to hold that heat, which in essence would, to me, allow it to stay cooking more and get past or get into a higher temperature. Whereas if you left it sitting on the counter, like not in a towel or just like tented or vented, it would allow the temperature to go up slightly and then start to come down. So that's always been my thought as to why I don't put meats in the cooler to cool. John says he has to get another quality adult beverage. Oh, well, have at it. All right, cooking. We got the one in the house tonight. Thank you so very much, sir, for watching along. Just says yes, chicken is a must attempt at the joints, ribs. Never tempt by bone, pull a brisket, and by poke tender. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, John. Taste tester number 3. Psst. Taste tester number 3. Come here for a second. Don't be proud. Spanky. Yes. Come here. Everyone wants to, John wants to say hi.
Hi.
And he said, can you see it? What does it say?
More butter, baby.
The same laugh. All right, thank you. All right, there you go. The cameo. Okay. Uh, Jay says, okay. Is there a difference between wrapping and resting in foil or butcher paper? So Dustin, or is it Dustin? Is it Dustin or Dustin? Uh, I've never rested in butcher paper. Uh, no, don't open those. Don't open those. Yeah. Uh, so I've never rested in butcher paper. I've only recently, within the last month, actually started cooking with butcher paper. So I can't even, aside from the ribs that I've cooked, I've never done a brisket in butcher paper. I have yet to do a brisket in butcher paper. And if I'm doing a brisket in butcher paper, it's most likely going to be for my family, and I cannot cook a whole brisket for just us. They won't have it. And vice versa. So sometimes I start slow and then go fast, and vice versa. You have to know how to work it. Yes, indeed. Can't go past 211. It will boil. You know what's funny, Jeff? You say that. I have actually overcooked. I had a beef tongue, and I had some errands to run. I was actually linking up with a couple of my coworkers, and we went out to dinner. And this was when I first put the drum together, and I'm like, all right, I'm already cooking. I said, just not finishing. I said, so I'm gonna turn it way down. And when I turned it down, it got down to about 250 degrees, I guess, 225 at the most, probably. But when I got home, I temped that tongue, and it was at like 215, 220 degrees. And I brought it in the house, and I tried to slice it up, and it was mush. It was mush. So definitely, you do not want to take, yeah, you do not want to take anything past. I don't advise taking like briskets or anything like that past 205 degrees. Brother Bear says, "Has anyone wrapped in butcher paper?" Yes, I have. I've like I just said, I've recently started using butcher paper, and I've used butcher paper on beef ribs twice now, and some baby backs. I've done spare ribs, and I've done St. Louis spares. So the St. Louis spare video is going to be coming out next week, and tomorrow's video is a direct comparison between all three. Yeah, so I have a pink butcher paper, a brown butcher paper, a white butcher paper, and aluminum foil. So stay tuned for that for tomorrow. Lou, why does what never get old? Oh, the more butter, baby. I don't know. Can't have barbecue today, and Bishop want to stop, man. A 5-hour drive home, shit. A 5-hour drive, Jay? Jeez. Resting in butcher paper definitely preserves bark from my experiences. You do lose the jus. And I don't want to lose the jus because the whole thing is I want to be able to preserve that to give to my customer. Your turkey satisfaction story tells a lot about you. You're a good dude, wanting to do right. Yep, it'll pay dividends. Keep up the great work. Well, Patrick, thank you, sir. Salute, sir. Thank you very much. Mike, how you doing this evening? Actually called Copper Top Barbecue. I guess it just keeps going and going. Send me some for my 30th cook for C-Mac. Send you some what? Adam, how you doing this evening, sir? Hello, little Miss Welder. Hopefully, your dad will get you out there welding with him at some point soon. So I've been trying to do some free butcher paper and foil. Oh man, you got ordered off Amazon. It really isn't that expensive, which is great. And the whole thing was, it was one of those deals where it just popped up one day where I was talking about it, and I was like, well, and I've had a few of you guys have asked me about, hey, which color butcher paper is better, and I'm like, I don't know, I've never used it, and that was always my story. I don't know, I've never used it, and then I finally was like, you know what? And I bought the butcher paper back in January, so it tells you how long sometimes it takes for me to do things with the things that I buy or the things that I get. So you guys, like if you send seasonings or other things like that, like I can't always just, I'm cooking a lot or a decent amount, but I don't always get to do experiments and things like that with some of these things. So, but like I said, I bought the butcher paper back in January and finally getting around to using it now, and I like the butcher paper. I like the butcher paper for cooks for my family. I do not think that I will be cooking with the butcher paper for customer cooks, at least not at this point. Like if I'm doing massive amounts of stuff and I'm not doing more of a like a take and they have to reheat stuff and I want to provide juices and things like that for them, then maybe I'll do butcher paper. But I like the foil and the pans because I can capture the most amount of the juices. Hey Lou, understand, man. Handle your business, man. Off your racks and the cheddar. I miss cooking on it. Yeah, Carlo Walker, how you doing this evening? Hey yo, I think I'm doing a decent job keeping up with the comments. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate that. I gotta, keep it looking nice. All of your kids are saying hi. Well, hi, all of Adam's kids. There's like you and you and you. I see you over there in the corner trying not to get on camera. Yeah, you too, and you and you. I think that was all of them, right? I don't know. You told me you have almost a baseball team. Ginormous roll of butcher paper at a restaurant depot for like $20. That was 3 years ago. Yeah, I think these were 1,500 square feet or linear feet or something like that. Rolls, I don't know, but they were like $15 a piece. Um, so I got pink, I got brown, I got white. Yes.
Can me and mommy share one of your soda waters?
Go ahead.
He said yes, mommy.
Go ahead. Who else paid for barbecue and then thought mine tastes better than this? Me, guilty. My wife told me to stop getting or buying barbecue out at different places because I'd like the disappointment that will wash over my face. And I would be like doubly disappointed. One, because I was duped into believing that it might actually be good, and then I wasted my money. So, yeah. Dash, you gonna try cooking spare ribs again? Well, Mike, I actually I have to cook some.
I have to use that.
Okay, the ice maker. She's getting ready to make some noise with the ice maker, so she was letting me know. Thank you. So I need to do some spares on Sunday. The reason I did the spares is because I have a customer who she just asked me about them. She's like, I really would love if you did me some spares. I'm like, I don't cook spares. She's like, nah, no, no, you can do it. You can do it. I know you can do it. So I think I'm going to do some spares, or actually not think, I know I'm going to do some spares for her on Sunday, Mother's Day. So she asked me to do some spares for her for Mother's Day. Then I have ice maker. Oh wait. No problem. No problem, Adam. So I'll be doing spares for her on Sunday morning. Hopefully, she just wants spares. If I know her, she'd be like, "Oh, I want the rack of this. I want the slab of the spares, and I need some wings." And a few weeks ago, and this is the whole thing. A few weeks ago, when I did wings and I cooked wings in Vicky one of those times, the wings were for this person, and that's when she asked me about doing the spares for her. And she's like, she kind of like bided her time. She's like, I know Mother's Day's coming up. Maybe you can do some spares for me, with for Mother's Day. So of course I tried them, and yeah. Adam says, made that night, bro, and there was kids everywhere you pointed. That's what's up. uh, yeah, Lou. Shoot. That's like I kind of feel the same way about the aluminum foil, but the thing is, I use aluminum foil for everything. I buy it. It's gone up. It's like $22 or $23 now for a roll of the heavy duty aluminum foil from Sam's. But when I say I put aluminum, like you guys, if you follow me on Instagram, I've talked about it, or even when I was frying that fish, I put aluminum foil all around the stove so I wouldn't get oil everywhere. And there were a few of you guys that were like, "That's such a great idea." I'm like, "This is me not wanting to clean up the stove." So, but I aluminum foil everything. Gas uses a spoon to take out the silver lining. Sometimes it's easier when the spoon is cold. Okay. Jay, I tell you, man, I struggled with pulling the silver skin or the membrane off of those ribs, and I make no bones about it. I could take the membrane off of some baby backs in less than 10 seconds off of those spares, and I'm sure after a while I would get better at it, but the struggle was in fact real. I was definitely struggling. Like those spares gave me a run for my money as far as trimming them up and getting everything off. Yeah, the back of the spoon. I've seen people do and use the back of the spoon. And you know what, Jay? I've always looked at people when they do that. I'm like, why the hell would you need a spoon? Just put your finger in there and get it out. It's baby backs. I don't need any utensils. I'll just put my thumb in there and then pop it up and then grab it, grip it and rip it. But on the spares, I actually ended up putting a nick in it and then getting a little bit and pulled it up with, excuse me, with the paper towel. I thought you were close. Yeah, Jay. I am not trying to do that. And another thing too is like there were so many of you guys who commented yesterday like, "Oh, I do spares and then I trim them." All right, you gotta remember a lot of times when I'm cooking, it's either a family cook or it's a cook for profit. My time is precious. My time is money. So the more time I spend trimming and getting ribs together and doing stuff like that, that's less money I'm making because I'm not charging any more really. So I want to be as efficient as possible. The most efficient thing that I can cook as far as ribs are baby backs because I take them out of the pack, rinse them off, pull the silver skin or excuse me, the silver skin or the membrane off, get them seasoned up, get them on the smoker. Boom. Those spares, one because I didn't know exactly what I was doing, and I told you guys I was honest with you. I don't know what I'm doing with these things, and I'm about to just figure it out. And that was it. Like I didn't look up any videos on how to do or how to do or how to do. Nah, I was like, I've cooked enough ribs. I can figure it out. So yeah. And I did. I did a decent job. I think I did a decent job. And I trimmed that one little corner because it was so flat and it was really all just fat. I was worried about it burning, but it probably would have been fine. And there were a few of you guys who said, "Hey, don't worry about trimming off the squaring them up or whatever." It really, it was fine. It would have been fine. But I mean, I think I did okay. Trying to take the membrane off in the middle of the rack. Okay, I will keep that in mind, Omar. Thank you. Zach Attack, yo, how you doing? Jay says baby backs are easy, and I love it. You ever smoke ostrich? No, sir, I have not. I've also heard that ostrich is a very lean meat. Grumpus says, I wish my first bears looked like that. Well, to be completely honest, I've had a lot of practice cooking ribs So cooking ribs, I won't say it's cooking ribs, but I mean, I knew what to look for. Let's put it that way. So I was looking for the telltale signs. Yeah. Adam says, "What's the weirdest thing I've cooked?" Um, you're not gonna get me, FBI. We're not gonna talk about that on this public forum. Like, I don't know, man. I cook regular stuff. I don't really do much exotic things or many exotic things. Um, since it's a little hard, definitely cooking on. I will cook like tri-tip. Doc says, ostrich is very, very lean. Two varies. Smoking it may be a little hard. Definitely a cook on it how you would, or I guess there's definitely a cook on it how you would cook like a tri-tip. Speaking of tri-tip, I actually have some tri-tip in the refrigerator um, that I'll probably cook tomorrow. But Adam, like I don't really cook. I don't really do a whole bunch of weird things. I'm trying to think. Like I might have to revisit that one. I don't. Aside from like fish, like odd fish, like I've smoked this fish called a sea robin. And it's an ugly little fish, but it actually tasted pretty good, and it's one of those fish where when I go fishing, and actually I should have been going fishing in another week or two, actually towards the end of the month, but when the trip was canceled, but this little fish is called a sea robin, and it's an ugly little fish, and when guys catch them, they throw them back. And one of the deckhands about 2 3 years ago, he's like, man, he's like, hold on to that. And he's like, it's good eating fish. I'm like, really? The ugly little things? He's like, hold on to it. It's a good eating fish. And I took a couple home. I think I took a half a dozen of them home, cleaned them up, and I cooked them and was quite surprised at just how good they are. They tasted almost like a little lobster. The fish has got such a tight, muscular tail that the front side, like this big old knotty head, cut that whole thing off. But the tail it was like almost like a langostino, man. It's like there was nothing but meat on the tail. It's good. Uh, Mr. Dunk says thoughts on holding proofing oven to hold sides and meat. I just got a pull behind trailer. I just started my business. Was wondering if the oven would be a good idea. I don't see why an oven is going to be versatile, just like you said, hot holding or for cooking sides and things like that. I don't see why it would be detrimental. Um, yeah, most people square them up. I don't. I just cut the tip off so it's not like a flat. But that goes on the grill for a chef snack. You're right. Ever done tri-tip brisket style? No. Is that a thing, Jay? Hmm. Do this tri-tip brisket style. Huh. That's kind of scary, Jay. A deer roast with the help from some bacon. Yeah, Bumpy, I know better. Like, oh, those of you guys who've been around the live stream know. Actually, a parent from Taste Testing Number Two's class gave me some deer, and I am petrified of cooking it. I'm afraid to cook it. It's been chilling in the freezer for like a year now, and I am afraid to cook it because it's so lean, and I just don't want to mess it up. Just smoke it for 45 minutes to an hour, then quick sear. Something been the best way. Never thought about doing the brisket style. Me neither. Tri-tip is my new favorite cut, man. Doc, uh, picanha. I take picanha over tri-tip though, but tri-tip is really good. Sliced thinly. KB Barbecue says howdy Dash. Good to see you on James chat yesterday. Well, thank you. It was just kind of random. He posted in there's a little group we have of there's two groups. One of the hot seat survivors and one of the folks who have been on Ricer's live stream, and I don't remember which chat he posted in, but he's like, hey, anybody free, join me. And I was sitting at the computer. I was like, let me let me log in and see if it'll let me in, if he'll let me in. and he had space. So I was like, hey, let me say what's up. So ended up sitting and talking with him for what, an hour and some change. I don't get big space, so I do tri-tip brisket style. So Callie, don't like Santa Maria style. All right, holding cabinets are good. Yes, Omar, I agree. What temp are you pulling? Yeah. What's up, Johnny? So Johnny is the one who actually got me to wanting to talk about this because Johnny did a brisket on his Weber kettle, and he used the uh, was it the Kingsford grill or the Weber thermometer? Which thermometer was that? I can't. I'm drawing a blank right now. But it was a thermometer that he used, and then it said in the instructions to wrap it in a towel and put it in the cooler. And I'm like, hey, other than that last statement, I think that the cook went off without a hitch, and I think that was pretty dope. But and then he's like, hey, that's a pretty good topic. Maybe we should talk about that on the live stream. And then here he comes, just coming in here. But I'm sure Johnny's kind of tied up. Yeah. Let's see. Mr. Dunk says I've done a pork belly brisket style. I thought about doing a tri-tip hot and fast style. I've only ever done tri-tips like a reverse like Dr. Ramirez talked about. Like a slow, cook to about 100 and 20 degrees, and then just, or actually like 110 maybe, and then you just sear it off till it hits 125, 130 degrees. Um, yeah. Omar says make jerky with the deer. Again, man, I am not afraid to say I'm afraid of that one. It's all about feel for him. You can do it. It's Jay. You can do it. I'll put a link from my older videos so you can see it. Okay. Yeah. So Doc, I remember Jay was with his buddy and they did a hot and fast tri-tip and it looked pretty darn good. He was trying. I think he might have been using Uncle Steve's shake, and this is probably 6, 8 months ago, maybe a year even. But he was chilling outside with a buddy, and he cooked them pretty fast. He cooked like 2 or 3 tri-tips, and I was just sitting there watching the video like, dang, man, I can't even get tri-tip. It's not easy for me to find. Dash I've never ever made picanha, but I want it so bad. Do it. Find it. Get it. Go into like a Latino butcher. Yeah. They sell a rump. And if you ask them to cut the rump cap, they might cut it off for you. The Weber Connect. Thank you, Johnny. Wife requested chili when I get home. Well, Mike, that's what's up. The smart thermometer. What was the verdict? So a lot of people is rather split. Hopefully I've swayed a few people in the let it sit out on the counter and actually cool camp, but we don't really know. There wasn't really a verdict, but there were a few people who wrap in towels and let sit on the counter. There were a few people who wrap in a foil pan and let it sit vented on the counter or tented on the counter. I've told you that I leave my briskets tented on the counter so that they can cool. But there were a few people who wrapped in towels and put them in coolers. 1 or 2 people said that once their briskets were done, they put them in the oven with the oven off, of course, um, to just rest. So yeah, not trying to dry. So you express it aloud when you do a brisket style. Okay. Henry says he gets his picanha from Uruguay. He said it's like butter, baby. Premium meats on Instagram. It's all the way you could ever want in any cut you could think of. Oh man. Woof. I wrapped mine in a towel and put it in a cooler. All right, Nolan. So I guess Johnny doesn't put it in the cooler, but he uses that little the flip box. Um and actually, what's funny? Those of you guys who've seen that flip box video, the company saw that video of mine and they reached out to me and said, "Hey, can we send you one?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And they're like, and they apparently they want to give me some information for you guys to be able to buy them at cost. Now, of course, everything going on, I haven't heard back from that company, but I have the smaller of the boxes. I asked the young lady who sent me email. I said, "Hey, could you send me out one of the bigger of the boxes? I would definitely love to use it, and also pass along any information that I can to pass along to you guys." So yeah, Jace is treated like a brisket, but less time. He said it was done in 6 hours or so. Yeah, just to have that there. Shush. I still have the Mama Juana. I mean, I hold on to things that are important or I'm scared of. I'm honest. Uh, Johnny says so. The flip top box. Uh, he says he likes it because they're not airtight, but they do hold heat and they do actually work as far as keeping things warm. I have actually started using that small flip top box that I have, taking sides and and small events where I have like one or two half pans and I'm taking food and it needs to stay warm just on a trip. Just so I don't have to carry the big Cambro. So I'm actually looking forward to hopefully receiving the big flip top box. And actually, I need to reach out to the lady who emailed me and follow up. Like, hey, I just want to make sure I didn't miss it or it didn't get stolen or something. Doc, I figured you would like that. You have to use temperature because if you're making multiple cooks, you need to make sure that everything is cooked. Yes, indeed, I agree. Um, I always that's one of the things, and I talked about it in a video recently, where 10 or 15 degrees in either direction of your target temperature is going to make your cook faster or slower. So if you're cooking to time, because of the fact that barbecue isn't unless you're using an electric smoker or a propane smoker, where you can set the temperature and it'll be at that temperature, even a pellet grill or smoker, those are not spot on and don't like they have hot zones or a cool zone in the cooker, and because you think it's at a certain temperature, it doesn't necessarily mean it's at a certain temperature, and you can overcook something or it be undercooked. But when you take the temperature of something, there is no guessing with that. There's no guessing with that, especially if you have a decent thermometer. All right, so Henry says back to resting. I pull my pork and then mix it with his liquids and keep it in my dying out smoker and wrap it with foil. That sounds like a good, because it's like your smoker is dying off, so the temperature is going to start dying slowly, and I think that's dope. Uh, KB Barbecue says, "What is a flip box? Is it a lightweight Cambro? Is something like a lightweight Cambro? It's like polypropylene. So it's not styrofoam, but it's one of those hard plastic foam type deals. If you do a search through my videos, and unfortunately because I'm on my phone, I can't post a link. But if someone wanted to search my videos and post the link to the flip box video, I would be greatly appreciative. I would get it, but it's just a little far away right now, so I can't show you. But I've used it a few times, one or two times on video. One and a half, 1/5 of bourbon, a few 20 ounces, and fearless, and I did a deer. Oh man, Omar, I know my limits, man. I hate wasting my time and I hate wasting food. So there's certain things where I'm like, but you never know. And one of the other things too, and from experience, I try not to cook when I'm drunk because it's just a waste of time and energy. Also try to burn and finish to my pulled pork. Great too. Well, that sounds good. That sounds real good. I'm trying brisket here. Be at least let's go by. enough tri-tip to play around with. Well, that's Doc. He's got me thinking. The only thing is, like, Jay, you what? And he doesn't tempt the stuff. Hmm. I don't know, man. I have to think about that. Yeah. Southwest Houston can't get beef or ribs or brisket from HEB. Starting to see the effects of the meat shortage. Yes, indeed. Knows. I felt it last week, and I talked about it last week that a friend of mine. Well, actually, I don't think I did because he wanted the pulled pork last Wednesday. So a friend of mine wanted pulled pork, and then he hit me back up, and he's like, "Hey, kind of changed my mind. Can I get ribs instead?" And I'm like, "Okay, sure, no problem." Well, I went to get ribs on Thursday morning. I couldn't get ribs, so I was like, "Well, I'm glad I was able to get the pulled pork." So yeah, but that's kind of like the thing. I don't know whether or not I'll be able to get like I need to get some spares for the customer I was talking about earlier. I have a slab of spares in the freezer, and if I can't get a fresh pack to do too, I will cook um that one that I have in the freezer. So I got to go out tomorrow or Friday to try and find ribs for her. And like I said, if I can't find them, then I will be going and I will be cooking the ones that I have here. Yeah, Doc. I mean, I, when I'm cooking a tri-tip, I know, you know, rare, medium rare. I don't know if I would want to take a tri-tip to like a brisket temperature, just because the unknown. But it could be fine. It could be fine. I mean, I'm sure. Let's see, Mr. Dunk says my trailer has a reverse flow smoker across the back with a warmer box over the firebox. It can be used as a smoker as well. Usually rest my meat there unless I'm cooking, and that's what's up. Because I know Bessie also has a warming box over the cook chamber or over the firebox, but it's connected to the cook chamber. Now I don't use it. I don't use it just because I haven't needed to. But the guy who built it, he used it from time to time. But he said that he used to like put a whole pan of beans in there and cook beans in there. So yeah. Mm. Manny Johns, how you doing? What's good? Nothing much. What's good with you, sir? All right, so the first hour we usually talk and try to talk about what's going on topic. In the second hour, we kind of shoot the breeze and talk about what's going on with everything being everything. And I guess the big thing right now is meat shortages. So what are some things that you guys have tried to get that can't get? Uh, uh 951 says I've done tried to brisket style. If the same, he said, or it's the same, he said no difference. Yeah, to make sure the sucks kind of bummer. Hope it doesn't last long, but they're predicting at least a couple months. Yeah, unfortunately, it's like but it's one of those things where if the meat is processed and frozen, then it'll hold and it'll be fine. If the meat hasn't been processed yet, that's where the problem is. Um, I've seen a couple folks who are having like farmers. Farmers are having an issue because they planted their crops a long time ago, and their crops are going to be coming, ready soon. And if there's no place for them to go, they're just throwing stuff away. They're wasting stuff, and that is very, very unfortunate. T Crunk, hey yo, what's up? How you doing this evening? He says, "What's up, Dash and everyone?" Shit, everybody's tired. I mean, we can't get anything. I went to Sam's. The only thing I was able to get was salmon and shrimp. If they have the trout there, I'd recommend getting some of that trout. The trout is going to taste pretty much almost just like salmon. It is a little, it's very salmon-like. Let's put it that way, Doc. Gotta say, dishing the whiskey sure helps to keep up with the pulse. Well, you know what? It's not necessarily the keeping up with the pulse. One, there's a few less people here tonight, and I'm not telling any stories. Usually, if I start telling stories and I'm like, oh, with a 2 or 3 minute story, it puts me 2 or 3 minutes behind in the comments. So, yeah. Did I finish the bourbon? I have one bottle of bourbon left. I finished the Basil Hayden's. I finished the Eagle Trace. I finished the uh, Angels. No, did I have Eagle Rare? No, Eagle Rare. I had Eagle Rare. Um, then I got the Bullet. I got Bullet. So yeah. I still have half a bottle of the Bullet left because it's high proof. Carlo says, I'm in Canada. Costco had no briskets, no pork shoulder when I went last week. 2 weeks ago, I was in Sam's and I was able to get brisket. But last week, nope, nope. I've done it brisket style, and I must have cooked longer or more smoke because there was a noticeable difference. Tri-tip can be cooked all kinds of ways, not just like a big steak. Chili is great with it too, or I guess it's great in chili, probably. Uh, it's like, okay, it just tastes like brisket. Okay. Jay says, all right. Been lucky so far. I live in Homestead, Florida. Haven't seen that bad yet, but usually get everything from BJ's or Walmart. I've been luckily at Walmart lately. Have you had to wait in the line to get into the Walmart, Mr. Dunk? I mean, prices are higher. That's a big thing for me. Shoot. Yeah. Anytime meat prices go up, that sucks. I wanted to remind me, rare such a thing, a pair with chimichurri. I'm just wondering, just thinking about it. Yeah, Doc, whenever you're passing through next, let me know. We need to link up and do a cook or something. Good? Yes, no problem. T. Crunk, no problem. Brandon, what's up? Uh, this is man, oh man, the price and scarcity of beef got him sweating. That's the thing, man. You got that chicken so cheap. A couple weeks ago, they were preparing you for a discount for the spike in the beef price. Omar says my boss has a dairy and they had to destroy $250,000 worth of milk last week. They had nowhere to ship it. Jeez. $250,000 worth of milk. And just think about that. That's $250,000 of milk at probably like a wholesale price. So you bump that up, when you're selling it, and you're probably looking at $500,000 to $750,000 out on the street. That's crazy. Alonzo says brisket is hard to find in South Texas. Lots of pork ribs though. Well, I'm gonna start keeping track. Hey! Can you get me a beer too out of the refrigerator, please? Since you're running past there so loudly. Thank you. Two. Please. Come on. Thank you. I appreciate you. Man. Taste testers are coming in handy right now. In the recycling, please. Hey. Thank you. Spoke too soon. The one passed it off to his little sister. Thank you, little girl. All right. That's just time to try. I will. Did I have the Angels Envy? I don't. I have to look at the. I kind of lost track. I don't know if it was Angel's Envy. I don't think it was. But I'll, I get paid on Friday. I might have to try it. We shall see. Victor says spare ribs have not been a problem, but baby backs that are the right size is hard to find. Plus, stores placing limits on how many you can get. Yes. So, Victor, one of the things that you might have to do or might be able to do is tell people that you're catering and that you're selling food, for other folks, and then they might allow you to purchase more. There are signs up, or there were signs up the last time or two in the Restaurant Depot over the meat cases, and they're like, listen, if you don't have a restaurant, you're not going to be buying a whole bunch of meat. So, yeah. Basically, it said that unless you have a food service business or something along those lines, that you're going to be limited in the amount of meat that you can purchase. So, there you go. Harris is storing as mentioned, mainly to create some margin in the finish time. No competition team is resting their food. Nope, you're right. Um, but also, competition barbecue is typically undercooked in comparison to cooking like backyard. Most backyard cooks are cooking to a higher done temperature and a more tender feeling. Especially with ribs and things like that, everyone always talks about having a good bite off of those ribs and the meat staying on the ribs. But backyard, you want the meat to come clear off the bone. So, but Henry, you're right. Uh, the meat prices are still the same despite the meat shortage. I have enough ribs in the deep freezer to get me through the summer. I got 10 slabs of spares and baby backs. Well, so the address, you can leave your address in my DM on Instagram because just let me know. I'll come through. I'll scoop some up and I'll be on my way. I'm not even gonna stay long. I wanna hold you up. I went to Restaurant Depot about 3 weeks ago and bought a case of brisket, a case of pork belly, and a case of ribs. I've been buying every now and then to keep my stock. Well, that's what's up, man. I yeah, I try not to just have food sitting around, and I try to buy food specifically for people who want it or need it, just because it's just I just don't like to have it sitting around. I don't want something to happen to one of my refrigerators and then I'm out that money. Like there was a time when I did a cook and I made a mistake and I bought 3 times as many baby backs as I needed. 3 times as many baby backs that I needed. And I didn't have to buy baby backs for like all summer long and it was fine. But I mean, I was just sitting on baby backs trying to sell baby backs every opportunity I could. And of course made my money back and stuff like that. But I mean, that was just a dumb mistake. Yeah, the bigger Walmarts, but the marketplace Walmarts, the ones that only sell food, I usually get right in. That's what's up. There's one Walmart that's close to my house, and I've seen the lines like waiting to get in because that's where I get my prescriptions from. And where the little drive-through pharmacy thing is where the people are lining up to go in, and I haven't been in there in weeks. Um, I haven't been in Walmart actually in weeks. Now that I think about it, actually, ever since they enacted the whole line and limiting the number of people that have been going in, I haven't been inside. VH says, I just want to say thank you. I think you're great, even when you do beer oil reviews. You're getting very comfortable on camera, so don't be afraid to branch out. Yeah. Oh, beard. Yeah. I've talked about this before, VH, and the whole thing is this. There are videos I do for you guys and the videos I do for me. When I work on my van, if I work on my car, if I'm building something around a house or like the whole video talking about the basement, getting the basement together and making it kind of like a home gym, that wasn't necessarily for you guys. That was just documentation. So yeah. I've been comfortable, and I've definitely grown into this whole YouTube thing. I've been at it for quite some time, and I just kind of go like this with it. I don't get too excited when things go down, or I don't get too happy when things go up either. I know that I'm coming into my season right now. My videos do best between May and like August, May and September. So I'm looking forward to these next couple months, and I'll probably be doing a lot more cooking. But in the meantime, there will be me trying to grow some sweet potatoes or some potatoes. Period. Victor, if you're listening, I did get my dirt out into the sun, and I added a bag of compost to each of them. I did also buy some like fertilizer or something like that. It was a 10-0-10. I got it for like $4. It's like a 40-pound bag of it, and I don't know whether that was the right thing or not. But I know there were some, people who were saying that you need to add some nutrients, and I haven't added that yet. But just figured I'd mention it since I was thinking about it. Dash, I'm making a trip to South Carolina in June. You let me know if you're up for getting together on my way down or on my return back. I'm driving with the baby, so uh, I have time. Well, we'll talk. We'll talk. We'll talk. Yeah, I'm thinking about getting a freezer for my mother-in-law so I can store meats and cook on my offset more. That's what's up. Bottle Cat, man, where you been, Chris? What's been going on? I feel like I haven't seen anything from you in a hot minute. Just as another quality drink in my hand. Well, sir, I'll drink to that. Salud for sure. Henry says, though I do like brisket, I also find that barbecue and smoking is very satisfying for me. When I can try to turn the cheapest meat into mouth-watering dishes. Yes, sir. And that's how brisket was meant to be cooked, slow and low. It's not meant to be fancy, man. You guys have heard me say this. I'm a keep it simple type, keep it simple, stupid type guy. I'm like, keep it simple. I don't do anything fancy. Uh, Jay says that's his goal, making cheap meat taste good. Uh, Long pan or plastic long container. Typically, if they order more than one rack, like if they order 2 or 3 racks, they go in a full catering pan. If they order one rack, then it'll be in a half catering pan. I'll cut the ribs in half. Pick up a 12-pound brisket at Sam's Club. First time to cook. 6 a.m. this Saturday. Well, that's what's up, John. Good luck. The baby was requesting to go to bed. She has become verbal since the last time I was live. It's been that long, so I'm out. Well, Doc, thank you very much for hanging out. Definitely tell her we said hey, and get to sleep. So, thanks again for hanging out. Definitely appreciate you. OG for real. Competition chicken. I'm cooking close to 180, 190. So tender that leaves that bite clean. All right. And that's a no. Restaurant Depot has been closed for 2 months. Hit by a tornado in March. Holy cow, T-Front. Hold on 1 second, guys. Okay, I like to maintain rib integrity. I don't want them all to fall apart. Troy, I like that. Great seeing you and everyone on the chat. Hope to start making more regular appearances. Well, that's what's up, Doc. Definitely, please do. Please and thank you. They call it ribs. I hate places that make pulled pork ribs. What's up, Russell? Uh, so let's see. Russell can't stay long working on the video. Will you work on, sir? I understand. I guess are you doing like a time lapse or something? Getting some stars. Omar says, I don't have a Restaurant Depot in my area, but I've tried to look online, but I can't. You need to obtain a membership, and you do. So, Omar, if you have the ability to, KCBS membership or even an SCA membership will give you a day pass to the Restaurant Depot. Um, I don't know if that comes with a membership number, but I can tell you that there are some folks who had that day pass and went into Restaurant Depot so often, so much that they just talked to the receptionist and they got them an account without having all of the legitimate documentation, I guess. Good night. You cold? Harry says, I'm negotiating with a local butcher. He has weekly transports from the main meat market to Madrid. He will buy a store for him to pick it up. That's what's up. I got my Restaurant Depot about being an SCA member. 2 for 1 for $40. Yes. I sent you a link on Instagram, the Facebook video. Local college did a meet at my restaurant tour. Oh, that's what's up, Brandon. I'm looking forward to checking that one out. Anyone else looking at the supermarkets for the supply? Problem with going to a supermarket, man, is they're more expensive. Even if they have stuff, I'm breaking even or losing money sometimes by cooking things that I get at the supermarket. I would never buy a brisket from the market. The brisket at the market is like almost twice as much as it would cost me to buy it from Sam's or from the Restaurant Depot. So this sounds like me. 2 deep freezers stocked up, couple briskets, lots of chicken, couple pork butts, tons of fun. What other types of cooking do I enjoy? Brother Bear says, I do a decent amount of frying. Like I fry a decent amount of chicken. I mean just regular cooking, man. I don't. Everything I cook is not always barbecue. My wife would she would not be able to tolerate eating something grilled or barbecued every single day. Trust me, I've tried. But it's just I just know better than doing that. But I mean I cook in the oven, I cook regular stuff. It's just to me or my preferred method of cooking is out on the grill or with a live fire. I mean, even in the Traeger, man, I'll cook on the Traeger, and I enjoy cooking on the Traeger, but it has its limitations, and we've talked about that. So I don't have a specific other type of cooking, but I mean, I'm pretty well versed. I mean, you see, I'm a big guy. I can cook. Uh, yes, Jay. All you have to do is go out to the SCA website, and it's like SCA, which is like Steak Cooking Association.com or something like that. My laptop's in the other room because I have a sticker that I am an SCA member. But just do that, man. And I'm sure as much as you're driving, you probably drive close enough to a Restaurant Depot here or there at some point. But yes, VH's Dash, how can I support your channel? What's the most effective way to make sure you keep making these great videos and sharing your knowledge? Well, that is a very great question, VH. So I'll tell you, there is a link down in the description for PayPal. PayPal is gonna be the least fee oriented. Fortunately, there is Patreon. The with Patreon membership, there's a couple different tiers. There's a $3 tier, $5 tier, a $10 tier, and basically what that allows you to do or allows you to have is access to the videos earlier than everyone else. Also, there's a means to directly communicate with me there. Uh, Other than that, there is also like Cash App down there. Um, but I mean, dude, you can purchase. I actually, speaking of which, I put up some merchandise. You guys who have been around for a while know that I did T-shirts. These T-shirts, I did those, and I ordered them through a friend and had to pay for them up front. Got them, had an inventory, just sitting in a chair over there, and I sent them out as people ordered the shirts. But of course, I had to guess at who would want to buy what and then send out the shirts. So I've outsourced that to teespring.com. And if you look in the, just before the comments of the videos, you can see where you can purchase, excuse me, t-shirts in a few different colors. There were people who were asking about the different colors and why there weren't different colors available. So you can purchase shirts in a few different colors and also hoodies. Yes. You can purchase a hoodie in a couple different colors. One of those colors is even pink. So if you feel so inclined to purchase a shirt, t-shirt, or a hoodie, that helps out and shows support. Also, if you send a donation through PayPal, usually, or what I was doing before was if you sent at least $10 through the donation through PayPal, I would send you some of these stickers. I don't have any stickers on any of these cups, but the Steel Drum Smokers like bumper stickers, I send you a couple of those. But other than that, man, I mean, seriously, liking the videos, commenting on the videos, sharing the videos, that's support in and of itself. I know it doesn't seem like very much, but YouTube, it's favorable in YouTube's eyes. But putting a couple dollars in my pocket so that I can go buy meat and go buy this and go buy supplies, I am very, very grateful for those of you guys who help and continue to help support the channel. I just the funds from the Patreon from the patrons hit my account today, and I was like, ooh, what can I go buy to cook? So not only are you helping to support and helping for me to put out more content for you guys for entertainment, a lot of times, a lot of things that I'm doing around the house are things that I'm cooking for my family to have and eat, or of course, I'm also cooking for my customers. But you're helping out in a plethora of different ways. Let's put it that way, VH. Uh Bottle Cap says, "Yep, absolutely anyone. They let him join Restaurant Depot, or I guess SEA." Bottle Cap says he did one SCA competition back in 2018. I just maintained my membership. It's all done online. Yep. And the SCA doesn't care. They're like, hey, we'll gladly take your $40 or $50 a year from you. Getting the business license, you're absolutely right. Yes, Steak Cook-Off Association. Restaurant Depot gave me an account number from my day pass with my KCBS membership. That's what's up, KB Barbecue. But that's good to see you again, my friend. We're gonna got me staying busy. IT, so that keeps everyone able to work. Oh yeah, I'm the IT guy that keeps everyone able to work from home. I understand, man, and I have been going into work. I go into work Monday, Wednesdays, and every other Friday. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, one of the labs, one of our computer labs was on fire. Not literally, but one of the air handlers died. They did some work on it over the weekend, and we fought with that thing. Or the HVAC guys fought with that thing all week long to get it cooler. And that's why I go in. I'm in there at 6 o'clock in the morning or so, and going in that early has its privileges, benefits, because I'm the one that wakes people up and calls people when stuff is on fire. Like I said, has a customer ever asked for a certain grade of meat for you to smoke? Yes, Mike, they have. That's a very interesting question. So I've had two instances or a few instances of this. So one of my car friends, long car friend, long-term car friend, his girlfriend at the time only ate organic stuff, right? And he wanted me to smoke an organic chicken for her. And I was like, yo, it's gonna be more expensive than the typical $15 for the chicken. He was like, I don't care. It's like $20, $25. Just smoke the chicken for me. I'm like, word. So I smoked the chicken for him. If I gave her a regular old chicken, she wouldn't have known the difference. But I went out, bought the organic chicken, and smoked the organic chicken, and she was satisfied. He was happy. Boom. I did a cook recently within the last 6 months or so. where I had a coworker of mine who is Muslim. She wanted me to cook a halal brisket for her, so I did. I cooked the halal brisket, and in the video where I did that, I cooked the halal brisket, and then I cooked a choice brisket alongside her at the same time. And the halal brisket was like a lesser grade than the like select or choice brisket, and I could tell the difference. I could definitely tell the difference, and I told her, uh, I told her that hey, next time maybe I'll cook. You know, if it's okay with you, I'm like maybe I won't cook this halal brisket because it was such a low grade brisket. I guess that it just of course that brisket is like a cheap meat or a low grade meat, but even at a low grade, you can get better than the lowest grade. And then let's see. I've also had same thing. I had a guy wanted an organic brisket. I cooked organic brisket for him. Uh, but other than that, I don't think of anyone requesting. Like most people don't request like higher grade briskets and things like that. They don't. They just say cook a brisket. So yeah. First time last weekend, I was a kid in the cane store. Bumpy, yeah, and Bumpy, you live in Maryland, right? Pretty sure. Which restaurant depot did you go to? My wife was in the indoor kitchen. I have outdoor kitchen. My wife has the indoor kitchen. He has the outdoor. Yep, nothing wrong with that. Oh man, I'm like 10 minutes behind in the comments. I'm sorry. When I said market, I meant the main wholesale market in Madrid, a massive distribution center, which is called Merca Madrid. All right. Oh, the prices are great at Restaurant Depot. When it started, salud, amigos from Tijuana. Whoa, barbecue short line. What's up? What's up? Uh, some shirts. Well, Jay says he has an OG shirt. Yes, sir. Him and his wife hopefully have shirts. I sent you two. Texas style barbecue and cuisine. Chef Johnny, how are you doing? Chef Johnny, I'm glad to see you haven't wasted completely away. And I haven't checked or seen if you hit your goal yet. But I'm pretty sure by now you probably have. Oh gosh, something in my eye. So hopefully you can tell me that you have hit your goal. Teespring material is not as good as the shirts I had made. Oh man, darn. Mm. All right. Well, thank you very much, man. VH, I appreciate that. Felt bad. I found the shoulder of a hog that had been in my deep freezer since 2012. I threw it out. I was not risking it. If it's been in the freezer, man, what's the worst that can happen? Using the butcher deal, I can really see meat quality and product. It saves me money in transport. I order any amount I want 1 week in advance. Yep. Omar says I have an LLC and an S corp. I'll be changing professions at the end of the year. I'm going to do catering full time next year. I will give it time to be home and take care of my girlfriend. That's what's up, Omar. I tell you, um, the LLC, if you haven't or don't already go into restaurant, go into Restaurant Depot, then you definitely can. Yep, that's all you need is the LLC. Choice of steak, easy to cook, a million ways to cook it, easy to mess up. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the halal brisket. Rick, what's going on? Ah, grass-fed beef is the best but expensive. So, Jay, I I don't know, man. Like I haven't. I need to have some like corn fed or grain fed next to some grass fed, and to try the difference between them. Bumpy, yeah, man. I swear I'm gonna bump into you at that store because that's the store I go into more often than not. I'm like 10 minutes from there. It's a business I'm familiar with. My current profession keeps me away from home days and weeks at a time. So it's time to come home. That's what's up. Oh man. Well, Chef Johnny, I'm rooting for you, man. I want to see that buffalo cook. I'm trying to see a video on that. All right, Bumpy says Middle River White Marsh. All right, I'm familiar with the area. You live up in those new houses, kind of like, oh man, is it White Marsh Boulevard or? So I'm familiar with going up there, obviously because of White Marsh Mall, but uh, also because of Benji's. My family and I, we go up to Benji's quite well. We're used to go up to Benji's quite frequently. So, you know, out in that area. But there's such thing as a bison brisket. I'm sure there is, but it probably doesn't get cut into a brisket. It probably gets ground or, cut into steaks. But I'm pretty sure there probably is. Henry says free range requests. Do people really think that 6 weeks chicken will go outside during the cold winters or hot summers? So Henry, if you haven't or cannot do this or can do this, there is a gentleman by the name of it's Morgan. I think it's Morgan Spurlock. Morgan Spurlock is a documentarian. He did a documentary. Why do I feel like I'm saying that wrong now? Yeah, documentary. All right, thank you. He did a documentary a few years ago about McDonald's, and it was called Super Size Me. He did a documentary uh, a few months ago about the chicken industry in the United States, and he bought a chicken, or he rented like a chicken farm or a chicken house, and he raised chickens to sell at his own restaurant. It was such an eye-opening experience, and it's on YouTube. It's not on Netflix. It's on YouTube. So look it up. It's called Super Size Me 2. Um, and it's about the chicken industry. It's about an hour long, hour and 20 minutes, the absolute most. And I mean, it is a very, very eye-opening experience, a very eye-opening movie, and the way he does his films, it's great. But I learned a lot about the chicken industry, and how those those words that are on the packages are just cash grabs. Most chickens are not being shot with any sort of hormones. They are not being raised in cages. They are not, there's just so many different things that he talked about, and the whole thing was he's like the the printers more or less have generated this whole thing where they're like, um, they have to put so much stuff on the box, and it's about getting eyes on the box because they have all these buzzwords on the box. But he's like, no chicken gets injected with hormones, or no chicken gets injected with this and that. He said the whole thing is, uh, the chickens are growing the way that they're growing now because they have been not genetically modified, but they're being bred to grow that much faster. So yeah, it's interesting. Uh, all right, I was late to the chat. Did you go over the topic? I can read the resting experiment using different methods for comps. All right, well, I might have to check it out. Chris, thank you. I will check that out. We eat buffalo brisket when you. Why eat buffalo brisket when you can have buffalo hump? I don't know, Chef Johnny. You be on some old other stuff, man. You be eating some stuff I've never heard of before. Uh, Bumpy says I'm 5 minutes from Benji's, but closer to Millwood River. Just a basic road home. Okay. Well, I know where you are. I'm sure we'll bump. I'm pretty sure we'll probably bump into each other at the restaurant depot. I see a few people from time to time. there. Like I was standing in the store in there a week or two ago, and someone was like, "Hey man, I'm a big fan of your channel." And I'm like, "My channel? Oh wait, what? You know who what I do? Yeah man, your YouTube channel. I'm a big fan. Oh okay, thanks. I appreciate you. 1 count extra egg for everyone. Something cares for animal welfare." But they will leave the free range chicken when it's twice the price. Sure enough, thanks. Yes, super size me too. Super size me, not meat. Super size me too. It's on YouTube and it is really good. Though I don't, though I don't know, I have a YouTube subscription, so I don't know if you might be able to see it, especially albeit that you're in Spain. Hopefully you can. I saw some free roam accounts today. I was about to shove one in my work van. Jay, if you had, I would have gladly come out to California to get the other half. Henry says corn for the last few days to get the color skin. Yeah. Troy says, Jay, you local Holmes. I've installed poultry process worldwide for 30 years. All right. Wow. Can you tell us a little about yourself, Dash? I think you're a total classmate. Well, thanks. And I'm in the kitchen cooking. What are you cooking? I love to know more about you and what I'm sure is a beautiful family. Well, I mean, same old, same old. Born and raised in Philadelphia. Came down to Maryland in 2002, I believe. Yep, 2002. And my wife and I have been together since since 2001, I guess. We got married in 2004. And taste test number one, born in 2015. Taste test number two, 2005. Taste test number two, 2007. And taste test number three, 2011. So, house, family, married, almost 16 years. It'd be 16 years at the end of this month, actually. We've been married, but I mean, I'm just a regular guy. Where's Kirk at to confirm this? He's met me, and we've gone drinking and hung out in Ocean City. And like I said, I'm just a regular guy, man. And so, I mean, I'm into all types of things. Taylor, what's going on, man? Taylor is the other person. There was someone else who got a one of the smokers you got, Taylor, that was here earlier, and I thought he was you. I'm like, two people got him like in the same week? Like what? So how'd I get into barbecue? VH says, um, I was just always the guy that was around the fire, man. I was always the one that was cooking on the grill, and I was always the one that was manning the fire, and that was it. And then it just turned into me. Like actually, I went on a trip to Texas. I went on a trip to Austin, and when I was there, I had this stuff called brisket that I had never had before. And my coworkers was like, "Yeah, when we go to this place, you're gonna go there, and this is what you're gonna order." And I'm like, "All right." I go and I'm like, "Okay, I need to get the extra moist brisket and some turkey." I'm like, "Yep, all right, cool." I sat down and I was like, "How do I get more of this? Like, well, how do I?" Like, I wanted. I was sprung instantly. So when I came back to Baltimore after going on that trip for work, I couldn't get brisket the way that I had brisket when I was in Austin. So what I ended up doing was I did some research and I figured out how to do the brisket the right way. I figured out how to get it right. It took me 7 years to get it right. I finally I finally got it right. And after messing up and trying and messing up and trying, it just got to the point where I was having all these big old pieces of meat that my family wasn't going to eat them. My family was sick of them. And then I started taking it to coworkers and friends and things like that. And then what happened was they were like, eventually they got to the point where they're like, "Yo, this is so good, I would pay you for it." And I'm like, you would buy this from me?" I'm like, "Yeah." All right, let me figure out how much I'm gonna charge you, and then in like a week, I'm gonna charge you for the same thing that I gave you today for free, so I can make my money back. And that was pretty much how from there. That's how it went up. Uh, okay. Chris says supersize meat 1 and 2 are free with ads. Spanky, we're not talking about them. To live there. All right. Battle box. Yes. Taylor. Someone else got the battle box this week. And he was saying he got it. He was here earlier in the conversation. Oh man, come on, man. What's up with the videos? You talking about it worked great? I want to hear about the it working great. I want to see the videos. Just found those on Amazon, but I need something VPN. It's USA to use it now. Well, that's what's up. No problem, VH. No problem. And you know, if you stick around long enough, or have been here long enough, you've heard that story before, or you know. And I also in the frequently asked questions, I talk about it in those FAQ videos. Stop to eat there. What was my first smoker? Mike says I had a little Brinkman bullet smoker. That little like $50 Brinkman bullet smoker. So the rectangle grill that I have, not the big grill table, but the one that I used to carry, like the one that I dropped off the trailer, that one is the one because it had enough real estate. I used to actually try to cook low and slow in there, and it was pretty much impossible because of the fact that I kept trying to cook like barbecue in it and do low and slow cooking in it. My wife actually for Father's Day, shoot, and actually now that I think about it, I think it was the Father's Day she was pregnant with taste tester number 3. So we're going on Father's Day almost 9 years ago. Taste tester number 3 will be 9 this year. So almost 9 years ago, I started cooking on that Brinkman smoker, and I cut my teeth on that thing. Like it was horrible. I never got good at it. But then I used the fact that the Brinkman had the same properties almost as a drum, and I figured out how to make a drum, and I bought everything that I needed. I bought a welder and everything else, and I made the number one drum and used the number one drum and started my business with the number one drum. And then when I made the first one, I was like, oh man, I can make these drums and sell them. So I made the second one. In all actuality, I was trying to sell it. But what ended up happening was I used it to cook on. So the number one drum and the number two drum, I ran my business with those two drums for like 6 months. And then I outgrew them, and then I got Bessie, and Bessie's been with me since 2014. So I've had Bessie for more than actually May of 2000 and May of 2014. So we're going on 6 years. So yeah. Then I got Vicky, and I rocked with those two for a while, and then I got Bernadette. So ignores the Cowboys comment. I didn't ignore it. I said we're not going to talk about that. I saw it. So let's see, short ones making YouTube videos is harder than it looks. What? I have more respect for you now. Cooking good, but also filming and editing on top. Yes, it is a lot. Taylor, I've said it before. When I film a video while I'm cooking, especially for doing a catered event, it can usually double my cook time or double the energy or double what I have to do for my cook, because it's like I have to do what I'm doing. I have to make sure that I'm careful about the things that I show and the things that I don't show, because I try to keep some things for myself to myself. I have to be careful about what I'm saying. I have to be careful about how I say it. I have to be careful. There's so much that goes into it. Now, Taylor, one of the other things too, please turn your phone, horizontally. And here's another thing. Take your time, man. No need to rush through what you have to say. I know you're excited. I know you're excited. There are certain videos where I've done and I'm just like, take a deep breath. think about what you have to say. Because one of the other things too, if you notice my videos, I edit out a lot of the ums and the ahs. I had someone call me on this, and I went back and I was like, damn, I do say and ah a lot. And now I've gotten to the point where I edit so many ums and ahs out of my videos that it bothers me when people are like and and or when they put them both together, they be like especially if you were editing the video. There's no excuse for that not to be edited out of the video. Now I tell you, like I tell anybody else, I probably edit about 90% of the ums and ahs out of my video. If there's one or two ums or ahs in a video nowadays, that's too many for me. But there's some times when I'll be like, now doing the live stream, oh no, they're gonna be full of ums and ahs because I'm thinking about what I have to say, and I'm thinking about a response, or I'm thinking about an answer to a question. So I have to think about it, and I don't want to just be like, okay, so blah 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 blah. So I'm just like, okay, so this is what happened here. But when I'm doing the videos that I edit, I mean, I cut out lots of ums and ahs, lots and lots of ums and ahs. Um, real cute. Maybe I'll put together like a little blooper video of just the ums and the ahs. Like seriously, I say now a lot. Uh, did you notice Dash going? Oh yeah, yeah. Taylor, like Dash told me, start with a 2 minute video, then grow. That's how I did. I was doing 30-second videos, then doing longer videos. Now it takes time. It really does. You have to grow into it. Um, it's not necessarily double cook time, Taylor. Double the effort. Moving the camera, making sure the camera is set up properly. If I'm cooking and I'm just walking in the garage and I'm opening up the food and I'm doing this and doing that, and then boom boom boom, I'm in and I'm out. But if I have the camera, I have to deliberately. There's a lot more things that I have to do. So it's like, okay, I need to set the camera up, make sure the camera angle is fine. I need to make sure that the that there's no other additional audio bleeding into this video. I gotta make sure the mic is on. I have to make sure that the frame is set properly. I have to open up and do whatever I need to do. So there's double the effort, not necessarily double the cook time. So double the effort. But when you really think about it, by the time I film the video, take the extra time and effort for actually filming the video, then editing the video, you probably could say I've doubled my cook time. It depends on the video though. Imagine uploading snippets of these streams. There's some really great parts of it that you cut, repackage, and re-upload are great gems, and just relatable segments. How he got on the barbecue. Well, the whole thing, VH, and I'll tell you, like I tell anybody else, the allure to the live streams is actually being able to be here for the live stream. Now you can always also go back and watch the live streams, the replays, but to be completely honest, the like the video that's coming out tomorrow, it is the comparison of the pink, brown, white, and aluminum foil as far as butcher paper. That video, that 13 or 14-minute video, was a segment that was filmed at the end of a cook. Okay. And the whole thing was, I did it with my taste tester number one, my oldest son. And when I edited, when I took the footage from that entire cook, I had an hour's worth of footage. Dumped it into the video editor, and I'm like, all right, I have an hour's worth of footage. I need to parse this down, and I want to get it an hour's worth of footage down to about a half an hour. Well, by the time, trimming the ribs and talking to this and doing the cook and wrapping the ribs up, and then um, my wife tasting the ribs, because those were important things. The video portion of just the cook and my wife tasting the ribs with the aluminum foil ribs that came off first because they were in the aluminum foil, that was like 30 some odd minutes, and I still had another 15 minutes of footage from when my son tasted the ribs and we were talking about the ribs in the paper. So I'm like, yo, there's no way I can put out a 45-minute video. So I went against everything that I go against, and I took the cook video, and I'm gonna say sacrifice it. I postponed it. I'm gonna put the video up of the comparison between the pink, the brown, white, and the aluminum foil up tomorrow, which is, of course, happened after the cook portion. So in that video, I talk about, hey, this is pulled from the cook video. Now the cook video will go up next week, and it's a 30-minute video, so I'm gonna break that into two parts because I've been trying to let the videos go for 15, 20 minutes, but it seems like they're not getting any more views than, any more, not watch time, but the percentages are still at about 50%. So I will, you know, I will just make split into two videos and go from there. Well, VH, thank you. It's very relatable. Do you notice how much difference in flavor between the regular cabinet smoker using charcoal and chunks versus the offset cabinet using split? So, KB, my big smoker is a reverse flow. I don't have any. Well, I have one offset, and I have never used Priscilla, but they are all reverse flow smokers. And yes, there is a difference, and I feel like I talk about this almost every week. So the smoke in Bessie, which is the reverse flow, the big wood burning smoker, is like an 8. The smoke in Vicky, which is the vertical smoker with the charcoal and the wood, is like a 6 or a 7. And the whole thing is like a 10 would be, as far as smoke flavor, would be too much. It would be over smoked and bitter. So I don't actually want that 10. Uh, Jason's got distracted too much. I speak too fast. So when I get videos, I have to tell myself to slow down. Definitely. That's very helpful advice. Have been thinking about it a lot. Also, being conscious and clear about the statement you're trying to put out. Haven't gotten into the editing much, but it's coming. Dude, Taylor, oh my gosh. I can tell you. Give yourself, and once you start editing, okay, it will get so much easier because you don't have to get it perfect. Period. I won't say that first time, but you don't have to get it perfect because there are times when I start and I will forget to flip up the view screen, and I'm gonna, like, I think it was Ricer has been asking me to do some bloopers and put some bloopers together, and there are like so many times I forget to put the screen up, or I will drop something, or and majority of it is like walking back and forth, or I'll set the camera up and then I'll go walk and I'll look in the frame and I'm like, damn it, my head is cut off. So then I gotta walk back to the camera and adjust the camera. Then I walk back and it's like, okay, I'm in frame, and then I gotta open up the do. I mean, that's the stuff that makes it take longer, and there's so much more effort in doing YouTube videos. And just like you said, it's not easy. Uh, does it make a better video when the phone is sideways? The whole thing is when you turn your phone horizontally, you can see more, and then more often than not, everyone's using things like this. The monitor is that way. The whole thing is when you film a video vertically, the only people who can watch that video vertically are people who are on their phones. Okay. Now, that being that being said, someone who is on their phone can turn their phone sideways so that the video is optimized for them having their phone horizontally. Someone who is on a monitor or on television can't turn their phone vertically. So vertical video is like the bane of my existence because even though there's so many people watching on mobile, they turn their phones this way. And it makes for a better viewing experience for everyone else, aside from those people who are using it on mobile or watching it on mobile. And even if they're watching it on mobile, like plenty of people are not watching vertical video. Yeah, as you're talking about editing videos, you're actually trying to not say "oh my god." Yo, it's hard, man. I mean, it really is. And when I'm talking to you guys here, I'm this is me. Hold on, B, stop sending me messages. I'm still doing live stream. This is me. I mean, saying the ums and the ahs. Yo, it happens. But yeah. Chef Johnny, thank you, sir, very much for hanging out, popping in. Good luck, man. I'm rooting for you to get to do your buffalo hunt. Uh, I cannot do YouTube videos. I pause too much and it annoys people. Sometimes I do it on purpose, though. But you know what, Omar? There's nothing wrong with that because you know what? Sometimes you pause and you have to gather your thoughts, right? Now, I work with guys that, yo, you pause, oh, we gonna interject something in that in your pause, and it is not going to be good for you that you paused. Like, no. So I've I've gotten to the point where I try not to do pauses and things like that. But if I have a long pause on video, again, you can edit that out. Cats leave videos so raw and rugged for no reason, especially if you're editing the video. If you're editing the video, there's no reason why you can't edit a 2 second pause out. That pause that would have been edited out. Like as I'm watching, I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? Let me go back 3 seconds, and as soon as I stop, boom, and jump cut, wait, boom. This is where I'm gonna start it. And then when the ums and the ahs, man, I've gotten to the point now where I'm like, oh man, I'll watch the clip through, and I'm like, oh damn it, I said or I said so I'll stop it, go back, and then I know where I'm gonna start and where I say the and then I can just kind of like let it play and cut the end, and then start the next clip. And if you watch my videos real hard, you can see where some of these ums and ahs are in the videos. But I've been getting better at not doing a hard jump cut transition, where I do transitions where I mash it up. So tell the breeze, share your food. That's what people want to see when you can talk with your subs and build trust. Like you get comfortable. I'm a big fan. Love your shows. Well, Blaze On. Thank you very much. Blaze On. Last year, issues with data management and storage. Point with the amount of content you generated over so long, it's got to be a good bit. Okay, Taylor, let's talk about that. I recently upgraded my NAS, my network attached storage, and I'm a computer guy. I'm a computer geek. So I could talk about this for quite some time at semi nauseam. Um, Currently on my laptop, I carry and use a 5 terabyte external hard drive. That 5 terabyte external hard drive has only the past 2, maybe 3 years of footage of videos, and actually, well, it has. I'm still on a live stream. It has probably the last 2 years, 3 years of raw footage, of footage that I filmed, but it has probably only a year's worth of film or of videos that I've produced, like the end all be all videos. And what I do is when I start running out of space, like right now, I have about 500 gigs of space left on that drive free. When I get down to about 250, I go back and delete 6 months of finished videos, and I'll free up 250 to 500 gigs of space, depending on the videos. But as I am filming more, I'm running out of room faster. Now that's what I carry and I use with me on my person. In my house, I have the network attached storage, and I said I just upgraded the network attached storage. I upgraded the network attached storage to four, was it 8 terabyte or 410 terabyte hard drives? 410s, or 410s, and they were 250 $300 a piece. And I had a drive go bad, and I had four 3 terabyte hard drives in there, and I was running out of room, like to the point where I couldn't save anything to the network attached storage. So I said, all right, time to upgrade. I bought a 10 terabyte external hard drive, which was just a backup of the network attached storage, and upgraded. So to four 10 terabyte hard drives, and set up in a RAID and RAID 5, I think it is. So I have 12 almost terabytes of pictures, videos that I've taken over the years, and I have everything. Um, Music, I have lots of stuff on my network attached storage, but I have 19 terabytes free. So that should hold me for quite some time. Now the issue I'm having, but again, that's every single video I've ever made, every single video I've ever produced, every single video I've ever shot, all of the pictures I've ever taken, all the digital pictures I've taken of my kids and things like that. All of that stuff is irreplaceable. So I have a decent amount of that. And if you are going to be doing some serious filming, now also keep in mind, I only film in 1080p. I'm not filming in 4K. Those guys who are filming in 4K, they probably have systems that are 2 or 3 times as big as mine. So yeah. Victor, did Mr. Hockey sign in tonight? I haven't heard him tonight. That's all. That's odd. No, I did not hear from him tonight, Victor. Um, but no. Preach. I think Fizzy was a sweet spot for videos. Yep. I'm listening to one of your lives I missed. I wasn't able to look at it. Just listening. I think you have a knack for a radio podcast. Ever thought about it? Dude, I do enough as is. I think this hour long, or excuse me, 2 hour long video that I do here, it's more or less the best of both worlds, because I try and or to say each person's comment, so that if you are just listening, you're not only seeing half of the conversation or hearing half of the conversation. And that's one of the things that I pride myself on when doing these videos, is I try and read everyone's comment aloud, because I know there are going to be people who are, I'm driving down the road, or I'm a trucker and I'm just listening to what I have to say. I mean, you don't need to see this video in order for me to be able to, in order for you to be able to garner all the information that I have to say or what I'm saying. Now, as far as doing the podcast, something like that, man, I've thought about it, but I'm like, when do I have time to film a podcast? Like, I'm doing 2 videos a week, and I'm doing this live stream. I am not stressed thin, but that's 3 days out of 7 that I'm committing to doing YouTube things. Now, here's another thing to keep in mind. When I'm doing a video that goes up on Tuesday, I'm usually editing it almost all day on Monday, right? Then on Tuesday, when a video goes live, I'm hanging out in the comments in order to be able to reply to you guys within an hour of your comments, of course, during the day while I'm active, okay, and can reply fast enough. Then I'm still replying to people on Wednesday morning to the late night comments from Tuesday. Then I'm trying to get on Wednesday, I'm trying to get Thursday's video edited and done. And then I have to prepare for Wednesday's live stream. And if I don't have enough sleep, I'm tired, and I'm on the live stream on Wednesday night. We've been going for almost 2.5 hours. When am I going to get a podcast in? So trust me, I thought about it, but unless I do like a short form, um, podcast where it's like the Ask Dash type thing, but it would be like a podcast. And even if I did podcast, like even if I did a podcast, I think I would do like a raw video that you could still see me talking, because sometimes my emotions on my face and like my face, my hand movements and things like that, they all part of this whole experience. It's not just, I mean, I don't have, I have a face for radio, I know, but yeah. Jason's look at my edits from a year ago to now. I can do so much better. It's awesome. I have fun editing to the point where I'd rather record somebody else cook. Jay, I get that. Uh, you agree, slow and low? For it depends on what, Blazon. Dude, I told him, I'm like, turn your phone sideways. Grumpus says, even his editing is slow and low. Chuck, I tell you what, man, you don't have to worry about, because Chuck, there's a word you say when you're doing your videos, and I don't know if it's the ums and the ahs. There's something. There is and everybody has like a tick or a bridge word is I think what is actually, and I'm guilty of it because I say so. It's like a transition, and the whole thing is like I finish one thing and I bring you guys back, and I'm like, so hey, welcome back, or so I'm back out at the, and that's one that I try and edit that out every now and again, but sometimes it's just like that's what I say, and it's not an or an ah. But there are some people who call me on that too. So everybody has their thing and their own nervous ticks and their own way to get through posting a video. And Chuck, you know as well as I do that it ain't easy. But if you are editing the video, you can edit that out. And if you, one of the things in the beginning for like probably 2 or 3 months when I was trying to stop saying ums and ahs, I would say whatever I need to say, and every time I said I'm like, I said again. Sorry. All right. And then I would have to think about the last thing that I said before I said and and then I would just keep rolling, right? And then when I did my edit, I would have to edit to the point where I was about to say or boom, and then I picked it up right after I beat myself up for saying it. Now I just say and I know that I'm just going to edit it out. I'm going to edit it out. So you just have to be mindful of that. It's a little mind trick. Can't wait to start my cooking show. I've never done one, but watching you was like magic. Well, good luck. Still love you down to earth streams. Well, thank you so very much, Henry. I appreciate you hanging out. Seriously. Well, Jay, I'll tell you what. That is a professional tip right there, and I don't mark on my floors or outside or anything like that because I try to vary where the camera is. Um, so one shot it'll be pointing back, at the house, and the other shot it'll be pointing away from the house. The only problem is the shots pointing towards the house look better than the shots pointing away because it's brighter um, in the background. So I have to be mindful of that. Again, Taylor, more to think about. Some of the guys slap you on the back shoulder and say, "Spit it out, damn it." Well, Omar, you know what? There are times when, and I don't know you, but I mean, you could have had a stutter when you were younger or something like that. And sometimes those pauses are a means of you getting your thoughts together so that you can say what you have to say. Uh, some people can understand that and other people can't. My mom and dad were both teachers, so a lot of people say that I have great pronunciation. I don't use a whole bunch of slang. I don't, I say things clearly and concisely so that people can understand what it is I have to say. Now, one of the things I tell you when I'm watching other people's videos, I speed those videos up because they're talking too slow. Now, I don't think I talk very fast, but I mean, I'm sure if I wanted to talk faster, I could talk faster. But for what? By the time I start talking faster, I'll get ahead of myself, and then by the time I really catch up to where I'm thinking or what I'm doing, I have to pause to catch up. So that's why when I'm filming the videos, I try to be clear, try to be concise. I try to get my thought out, and then what I will do is there are times where I will move not specifically words, but I can move a clip that's 10 seconds here to a sentence in front because it makes more sense. Man, editing is the bee's knees, and I can edit a video to look one way and act one way and feel one way, and it is just what it is. But there's some people who just they talk like this, and they're monotone and they're boring, and you need to get and grab people's attention, and you have to vary your levels, your audio levels, and get excited or get kind of bummed or get inquisitive, and you have to vary things or people are not going to be interested. And when I like I said, when I'm watching videos, car videos a lot, I speed the videos up and I watch them at 1.5 or 1.75 or 2 times the normal speed. And like my kids, they're like, Daddy, how can you watch that video when they're talking so fast? I'm like, listen faster. And they look at me like I'm crazy. What's your best family feeding crowd pleaser? Something you make at home? Fried chicken. Fried chicken. Or some fish sometimes. Do you have a server in your house, Dash? Jay, I used to. The whole thing was I lost double-digit terabytes of data some years ago, where I had a RAID controller that was I had multiple drives that were set up and they were controlled by this card, and the card crapped the bed and it wiped out 10 terabytes of data. I used to have, I mean, you name the movie, I had it. You name the TV show, I had it. I mean, multiple seasons of stuff, and I was that guy. All right, I used to be that guy, and when I lost it, I lost complete interest in doing that. So I saved the data because I had a lot of music. I had probably 4 terabytes of music, and I haven't gotten music lately. This was all old stuff. Like basically, anytime I found out anybody had music, I say, "Hey, give it to me." Or here's a thumb drive, or here's a hard drive. Put all your music on it, and I have such a vast variance of music that pretty much you name the song. We had a live stream one night where I was sitting in front of my computer and I'm like, name the song, and I better have it. And there was not one song that didn't. One song within that was 2 to 5 years older. Now I don't have a bunch of newer stuff because I've gotten out of downloading new music. It's just I'm out of it. Like now I'm not into it. But I mean I have a lot of music, a crap ton of music. No problem, VH. Synology. No, so Grumpus, I have a Western Digital. When I bought my Western Digital, the My Book, I have the 4 port, yeah, 4 port My Book. Um, the Synology wasn't at the same place, but the Synology now is much better than the Western Digital one. I wish I would have, yeah. VH's cadence is intrinsic to the flow of a human speech. Every language has a version of you're right, or you're absolutely right. And it is a bridge word, VH. I delete all my videos once they upload to YouTube. No, Jay, you know why you don't do that? Because you can use the video from before. Like, you guys have seen I call back videos. I'm like, hey, remember in that video where I did this? And I'm like, boom, flashback to this video. that will, one, it'll add time to your videos, and two, it'll get people to look back at another video. So Taylor B says Linus Tech Tips is a whole thing on data storage with the Smarter Every Day. Smarter Every Day is the guy, the issue you mentioned. Yep. Lots of content, including 4K. Check it out if you have a chance. Taylor, I love Destin. Okay. I like Destin is one of my favorite YouTube channels, like bar none, by far. Love Destin's channel. And I remember seeing the episode, and I was like floored at Destin's data management because of how, and the thing is with Destin, he films so much, and the things that he films are spanning years sometimes, that the his ability to keep it straight, mind blowing to me. And not only his ability to keep it straight, his ability to work a job, have a family, and still edit and put out videos. Okay, now he's not putting out videos at the same frequency as I am, but his videos are so much better and so much more detailed than mine are. Change the way that they talk. It's just the way you should be at that point. It's not VH. It's not necessarily about changing the way that you talk. It's it's about, and this is one of those things that is hard to explain. I don't want. I'm not saying. I'm not trying to say that you need to. If you talk with a slang, you talk with a slang, right? I'm not saying that you need to drop the slang from your language, from your vocabulary. It's just that if you're putting videos out on YouTube where you have a global audience, you need to cater to your global audience, and you need to make sure that everyone will be able to understand what it is you're trying to say, especially if you're trying to convey a specific message. So, but one of the other things too is you, if you speak and, like, what's the guy, the teacher from like Boy Meets World, and he did the, I think he was on Boy Meets World, and he did the dry eyes commercial. Dry eyes, get Visine or whatever it was, and that was just the way that he talked, and that was it. There was no excitement in his voice. That was just what, this is just how he sounded. But if you're trying to show someone something, you have to keep them interested. How long are you going to watch a video of someone who talks just like this, talking about barbecue? I'm going to cook in my smoker today. I've gone ahead and I've lit my fire, and I'm going to wait until the fire gets to 250 degrees. Once it gets to 250, I mean, you're not going to watch that. You're not going to. I don't care what you say. You're not going to watch that. You have to. Yeah. You have to just. You have to be engaging, and that's what I'm talking about. Jimmy says, at work, got a hop. I should get sauce tomorrow. Let me know. If there's a difference in the last. Well, Jimmy, I sure will. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it. Troy said almost 4 hours last week. Yeah, man, I was on a roll last week. You ever thought about doing like interviews with other YouTubers? I have, Mike. The problem sometimes is the technology. Like, I use my phone to do these live streams, and I use my phone not because it's the best. I use my phone because it's the easiest. It's quick and dirty. If I need to move around and do something, I can. And then it also allows me to have my laptop and use my laptop for doing any other research. When I did the live stream, and there were a few of you guys who joined me on that live stream, I used my laptop in conjunction with my phone, which was crazy because I had my laptop set up like here and my phone set up over top of it. And I still use my phone to do the broadcast of the video, but I was using my laptop so that I could look at the comments and reply to people and other things like that. Yeah, Russell's live streams go for 4 hours every single week. He goes from 8 o'clock to after midnight, darn near, and then he might even do an after party more or less on his channel. Just sound like Daniel Cormier. Okay, that's what you remind me of him. Oh well, I think Daniel Cormier would probably kick my butt. And of course, I know who Daniel Cormier is because I'm not the biggest MMA fan, but I used to watch a lot of MMA for a while. Maceo, what's going on? It took me a couple years to train myself to stop cussing 100%, so I know it can be done. Yeah, when I stopped cussing in my videos, when I realized my kids were watching the videos, and I didn't curse a lot in my videos, but every now and again it was the F bomb or, this or that. But yeah, just say ask dash yes. Um, VH, there was a segment I did in December. I did a video a day in December, and it was called Ask Dash. So if you go back into my videos, there is an Ask Dash. So yeah, trademark immediately. Oh man, real barbecue. Pumpy funny. I have some movement detection cloud cameras, which I plan to position near a cook and prep areas. Then that will keep the same perspective. Well, that's a great idea. Madwood, hey yo! I guess like a trail camera, Henry. My only concern with that is sometimes those motion cameras will only capture like a 1 minute clip, and or the video quality might not be 100%. How do you do your catering by selling your product and it's all ounce by the pound? By the pound for the most part. Alton, yeah, yo, how you doing this evening, sir? Hopefully you survived your test there. So you're actually telling you lost evidence of media piracy. Yes, I did, Henry. I did. I did. You gotta hit the sack. Want to say thank. I want to say what's up. Y'all take it easy. You too, sir. 10 terabytes of data. I can only imagine the kind of surfing. I mean, it's like, oh man, dude. Oh yeah, my filing system for my data is pretty. I mean, it's not crazy, but I mean, I had, again, I'm a computer guy, so one was videos, two was music, or two was pictures, three was music, four was like software data, five was when I was teaching. I had my teaching files in it. Like the whole thing was I numbered each of the files so that I could have them in a specific order. The ones that I went into more, but you know. The top level folder is this, and then I would have like and even in my video files now, and maybe I'll show you guys like the data my yeah, one day. um yeah, so it seems pretty interesting, the data management aspect of it. If you're making huge organizations, you need to move what the judges want. If you're selling to the public, you need to make it for what the public wants. Cater to the audience. You're actually exactly right. I've been having a hard time finding the time for videos with Corona crap. My kids are non-stop, and this is where it's done. Let me do anything peacefully. Yeah. So, Chris, I tell you what, man. Um, the the way you can kind of get around that is there's two things. One, you're gonna have to cook and or edit or do things at night or early in the morning because that's what I do. And or two, you get them involved, and if you get them involved and they understand the process, and if you one of the other things too, taste lesson number two, I tried to instill in him. I'm like, dude, you got to be quiet. He's like, I am quiet, you can't hear me, I'm not saying anything. You're moving around, bumping everything and everything within the. I'm like, dude, the camera picks all of that up. Okay, so if you sit him down and you kind of show him what is happening when he makes a lot of noise or he does something or something like that, he might get invested and be wanting to help you. And the only caveat to that is if they want to help you, they're going to want to help you. They're going to be so involved, but hopefully you can use it to your advantage. Los, what's going on, man? Uh, so much. Oh man, no problem. Bridge words, yeah, to say the least. You need to make another video with Vicky about how much wood you use. Dude, I'm using 2 splits in Vicky. That's it. I put one at the bottom and then one on the top of the charcoal most of the time. Harry says my 8-year-old son received his first Smoky Joes at his 3rd birthday. He likes social media, and I think like the video part will be his. So that's what's up. Best file naming system is year, month, day. Starts to change my mind. Um, I do sell the 55-gallon smokers. Those are the only smokers I really make. I don't have the tooling to make anything bigger than that. You can transition into the taste tester show. You're absolutely correct. I could, but then that would be me having to edit them cackling and giggling, and I'm like, I don't want to do that, Chuck. I'm not ready for that yet. But they probably would be willing to and wanting to have their own show, more or less. I think they would. Took the day off. It's Friday to do my picture video. Needed time to do that one. Yeah, I know. I understand. My problem is the way my video schedules are. I'm usually cooking on the weekends, and or on a Tuesday or a Thursday when I'm working from home, and also I am so far ahead that like I can't do fill a video for Piff right now. But um, yeah, rest in peace, Phil Roberts. Do you like the style of Myron mixing barbecue cooking? When you say style, like what? The water smokers? Um, for the 55-gallon drum right now, you're looking. I think it's $400. I gotta double check the price on it, but it's pretty sure it's $400. Easy search and creation dates mess up when copying. So Henry, I actually prefer to use the file names as my marker because the whole thing is the file names. It doesn't matter chronologically when they were taken. The only problem is when I have 2 cameras that use a similar file structure or the naming convention. So all I do to combat that is I have folders for each of the cameras, and that's the easiest way to combat that. I don't actually create folders for a specific year, and nah, man, I can't do that. I have a dump file where all of the videos, like every video that I filmed on the RX7, the new camera that I have, they're all in one folder, and I just scroll through, and I know I can look at the videos, the thumbnails on the videos, and I'm like, oh, this was filmed when I did this, or this was filmed when I did that, or I can see the series of me, uh, me being in the kitchen, or me being out the smoker, then going in starting the smoker, being in the kitchen, being back out of the smoker, being back out of the smoker, and then being in the kitchen finishing up. I mean, it's simple enough. Like I don't have to put each. I feel like sometimes people overcomplicate things and they put too many files and folders in too many files, and then they create a it's just a maze. And then it gets to the point where Windows will only look through so many folders because there's a character restriction. So yeah. How would I go in finding a tow behind smoker in Michigan, Mike? The dude, you just got a kid out there and look on Google and Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace and offer up and see who's making or manufacturing smokers in your area. But you're probably going to have to travel because there's probably not many manufacturers of smokers in Michigan, to be completely honest with you. All right, Grumpus, that's what's up. Those Troy's answer uh, is part of it. Troy says Myron is a competition guy. Myron does have restaurants. There, he's got a restaurant in DC, but I don't cook hot and fast. I cook lower. I cook lower and slower to an extent, and then I bump up the heat to try. And I mean, there's no sense in letting something, especially if it's not taking on any more smoke, letting it cook at 225 degrees. There's just no point to that. So make your own rubs or purchase ones in the store. So I doctor up some stuff I get off the shelf. The consistency is there. What is the MS Microsoft SharePoint is aiming to eliminate their system of file properties for certain file docs, etc. It's a bit confusing at first, but it helps reduce the file structure complications. Well, Taylor, you sound like you're an IT guy. Um, SharePoint is aiming to eliminate with their system of file properties for sorting files. Well, I just know I have dealt with, and one of the things, and the reason why I've dealt with this is when you start to create too many folders and subfolders, the number of characters gets too long, and then you Windows won't be able to copy it, or like the synchronization programs that I use to synchronize the data from my laptop and my external hard drive to my server, the NAS, the network attached storage. I won't say server, the network attached storage. It will give me error messages, and then I'll have to. It won't be able to run a script to get it done. I'll have to do it manually, and it's not that big of a deal if it's one or two files, especially if it gives me an error message or error report and tells me exactly which file doesn't copy. But I try to avoid that by using the default naming convention and not putting 13 levels of folders and everything. Like his technical reviews and myth busting tests. Um, Henry Myra Mixons or mine. This is my trailer back from rap today. It's almost done. I gotta send your pic on Instagram. Yeah, man, definitely send me pictures. I want to see. No problem, Taylor. I mean, I just, I'm a very practical. I have a very practical approach with almost any and everything, man. I keep it simple. People overcomplicate things. I'm like, why? Why are you doing 39 different? Just stop. Like, don't be stupid. Stupid. Like, yeah. Meathead, or am I wrong? Meathead. I'm not sure exactly who. Yeah, about Meathead folding from Amazing Ribs. So I don't watch that channel. I don't watch that. Yeah, I don't. Nope. I've told you guys before. I don't watch a lot of cooking. Um, oh my gosh, that's too funny. So, Lo says, have you ever run into anyone from The Wire? The answer to that question is yes. I have met Snoop. She is the only person from The Wire that I've actually met. And I was in a Sam's and she was walking in and I was walking out and I was like, yo, Snoop, yo. Yeah, like, yo, I'm not even from Baltimore, but I mean, obviously, I'm a fan of you and your the the part you played in The Wire. But here's the thing, that's how she really is. Yo, that wasn't an act. That's her. That's why they cast her for that role. She is Baltimore. Oh, okay. Uh, Los. So other than, it's funny. I didn't watch The Wire. I didn't know what The Wire was. I won't say I knew what it was. I heard about it, but I didn't watch The Wire until after I moved to Baltimore. And after I moved to Baltimore, they were 4 seasons into The Wire. And I found out that there was a phone booth that's up the street from my house that Avon ended up getting out and going into that phone or using that phone booth one day. And I drive past that phone, well, what used to be that phone booth, it's no longer there, but I drive past it 2 or 3 times, 1,000 times, I feel like, a day. And when my friend from Philly came down, one of my best friends came down and helped me move, he was like, "Yo, you live in the wire, you live in the wire." I'm like, "Yo, I don't even know what you're talking about." So it was 6 months, a year after we moved into the house that I finally started watching The Wire. Like I binge watched The Wire over the course of like a weekend or two weekends. I watched 4 seasons of The Wire, and in the first or second episode in the second season is when I saw that phone booth, and I'm like, "Yo, I know exactly where that is." And that was the first time where I had an interaction or something that was close to The Wire. A lot more of The Wire is filmed more like downtown or over on the east side, and I live on the southwest side of Baltimore. But I mean, it's so funny. My buddy, the when he helped me move in, the whole day he was like, "Yo, you live near the wire. You live near the wire. Scott lives near the wire." I'm like, "Yo, I don't, I don't, I don't know about that." But yeah, don't think she is a channel. Yeah, she is. She's definitely hood. How would you go into making a baffle for an offset? I don't know. See, this is part of the problem. I could probably cook on one to figure out how to use it if someone created something for it. I'm not a fabricator, so I can put some things together, and I don't put myself in that upper echelon as a lot of fabricators. But I don't know how to create a baffle. Meeks, what's going on? All right, guys, I'm about to end this. I'm trying to catch up to the comments. Choices, Omar's coming. Yep. Taylor Reese's Wire 1010 show. Hard to top, really. You know what else is an underrated show, and it was because it was before the days of Netflix? Oz. HBO put out some amazing, fantastic content, 10, 12 years ago, and Oz was one of my favorite shows, and it was so great. It was riveting. Confused Myron with Meathead. Okay. All right, Henry. I'm late, but rest the meat at room temperature. All right, Meegs. Yeah, I agree. I do that too. One folder per video. Dump all the files used to create set video. Easy to recreate project if needed. So the only Grumpus. So I mean, I've seen and I've seen people do that. The problem with that to me is, are you naming the folders like by dates, or are you just willy nilly? I cooked brisket on the Lone Star this time, or I cooked this on the Lone Star that time. Like, are you keeping them in a chronological order? Because putting them in folders, and then that just, to me, that makes it a little difficult, a little more difficult to find a specific clip of like B-roll, or like in the video that you'll see next week. I start out the video and I'm cooking St. Louis spares. All right, I give you guys a sneak peek. I'm cooking St. Louis spares, and in the video I start out in the kitchen. I don't normally start the videos in the kitchen. I normally start the videos at whatever smoker I'm going to be cooking or using. So in the video I'm like, "Oh man, hey, I'm in the kitchen today. I don't normally start the videos in the kitchen, but you've seen me stand at Tracy." And I call back to a video where I'm standing at Tracy, pointing at Tracy, behind me, and I'm like, "I'm going to be using Tracy today." And then, another point, and I'm like, "Oh, you see me turn the dial and turn Tracy on." And I cut to B-roll. Well, I cut to footage from a past video of me turning the trigger on. So I didn't have to do those things because I had that footage from before. Now, if it was buried in this video or that video or this thing or that thing, it just, I mean, it would have, my workflow would have been a little more cumbersome. But not to say it doesn't work for you, but I do a lot of calling back of old videos, looking back at B-roll from other videos. The same thing. I talk about the seasoning that I use was when I used it a few weeks ago on those beef ribs that I did, the Texas style beef ribs, and it was easier for me to look in the dump folder where all of the videos are and pull that specific clip B-roll, edit it down, and get it into an overlay so that it's now B-roll. I'm using that B-roll twice. So, it's just, I don't know. I really feel like sometimes I could sit and talk to you guys about how I edit videos and my thought process behind editing videos. But I mean, if I sat and did a video like start to finish editing it, it'd probably be 3 or 4 hours of me talking about how I did it. Uh, what's the last one? Zone shows overshadowed because of the Sopranos. I agree. So Oz kind of faded when the Sopranos came in, and I think the Sopranos it wasn't as grimy because Oz was filmed in the prison and all of the stuff that was happening in the prison, it turned people off. But The Sopranos was a little more relatable. But yeah, it's one of those props from the Matrix. Funny bottle cap. Also, Will Harris is the man. Yes, best shows. Ironically, the show never won anything. It turned out to be one of the best shows currently. Yes, I agree. Oz or The Wire. Car looking. Oh my gosh, Roy. My car looks horrible, dude. I drive past the car wash and I just look over at it and I'm kind of like I'm bummed, like seriously bummed that the car wash is not open. So if you need me to be a test subject to run through what I still looks like the renovations are not done yet, Roy. But I'm almost to the point where I'm getting ready to go to a Royal Farms to get my car washed because I will wash my car. Like if I wash my car at home, it takes me 2 or 3 hours because I'm just that anal about using the spray gun and using 2 buckets and all of those things. Yeah. B, you sent me a whole bunch of text messages, but I was obviously still doing this. So yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I can't remember war slash, huh? Shaved ass good times. Thank you, Taylor. Guy played the cello. Huh. A lot of actors for Oz were on the wire. You're absolutely right. So the whole thing, Troy, HBO has a way of keeping actors in their ecosystem. I guess it's like, hey, you work for HBO. You're gonna be on this show, and then when your contract is done with this show, you're gonna go on this show, and then when your contract is done on this show, you can be on this show. And but I've seen a lot of folks that were on Oz way back in the day that are now on The Wire or on other HBO shows and definitely other movies and such. I just had the date and file name. All right, Grumpus. Okay. I just again the way I've been doing it, my workflow. Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah, Los. I just Oz was a trip. Someone mentioned posting the barbecue pics and community photos. I'm assuming that's on Instagram. I just signed up and followed. Well, Mimi, appreciate that. No, so I'm not sure which the community photos they were talking about, but I would hope. I'm not sure if they're talking about on my YouTube channel community page, but I don't know. If you had one thing on your smoker, if you had to, I guess, add one thing on the smoker, what would you add? Um, I don't know, man, because all of them are different, and I don't know. Like they're all different, and I could add different things to different ones to make things easier. Uh, maybe shelves. Shelves are underrated. Should be willing to do a video edit chat. Even if folks were interested, I'd be. Well, tell her maybe. I'm thinking about it, but it'd have to be a video where it was like real short, cause like today, seriously, I spent 5 hours probably editing the video for um yeah, I started at 8:30 and I wasn't done until 1 o'clock. Now also I edited right through my lunch. I wasn't done until 2 o'clock, and I'm going to pull 3 videos from the 60 minutes of footage. So yeah, The Wire still think it's too much for people, like you said, compared to The Wire. Yep. 84 barbecue. What's going on? All these folks popping in now, man. I'm getting ready to sign off and go to bed, but I'm I took like a 10 or 15 minute nap before I started the live stream, and I'm doing okay. You think a stick burner is annoying compared to the trigger or the green egg? They're different, man. They're different. You can't compare that. They don't. It doesn't translate, directly. Uh, I talked about this. I've talked about this before in a video talking about the uh, in the big green egg and talking about the big green egg versus the Traeger. Um, the Traeger is, they're like different types of vehicles. One is a sports car, one is a pickup truck, one is a commuter car, one is a family sedan. I mean, they all have their different uses. And can they all cook the same things? Yes. They all will get you to point A to point B. But will they do it differently? Yes. Okay. All right, Dash putting brisket on overnight cook. See you still on. I mean, she don't have to apologize for popping in so late. It's just I feel bad that you just got here and now you make me want to keep talking. You know. Texas barbecue guy says, "What's in my rub? My fingers." I keep trying to tell you that is the key to my rub. It's me rubbing it with my fingers. Adam, stop encouraging him. Any thoughts on the Master Built Gravity series? I would love one. Where would I put it? I don't know. But I would love one. Uh, Chris says that's why he does hot and fast. He likes to sleep. I do a mix of hot and fast. I'm starting to realize, as talking to more and more people, that I would be considered more of a hybrid because I cook it slow and then I ramp up the temperatures to get it cook a little faster. Mm. Old Country Pit Gravity Feed is an interesting smoker. It just came out. I've never, I can't say that I've seen Old Country Pit, but I have definitely seen the, oh gosh, which one is it? Which one? The Gravity Smoke. Oh, the Master Build. I couldn't remember the name of it. Yeah. Those Master Builds look like they hopefully will be great. Um, Somebody who used to put together, and I think they still do. Excuse me, gravity fed smokers. Well, Myron Mixon, I think he's got gravity fed smokers and stumps. I think stumps cookers are gravity fed smokers, and I think a stumps cooker. Stumps don't make no junk. It's like buying a smoker. Blazon, where do you live? Where do you live? Or Blaze One. All right, there we go. Now I am putting one and one together. Where do you live? Because I do make them. I can make them. The problem is the components are getting harder and harder to find. I'll be completely honest with you. You might do better. UDS, yeah. See, if I make one for you, you're gonna pay as much or more in shipping trying to get it to you in Minnesota. UDSparts.com. You can get almost all of the parts that you need to make your own ugly drum smoker, and or you can probably try to find someone to make you a smoker that will be a lot more not versatile, but the ugly drums are limited in capacity, but they cook like great. One of the other things too that you might want to look into is the pit barrel cookers. You probably can pick up from like a Walmart or a Lowe's or or Home Depot that's local to you and would be uh, as the same or slightly uh, less expensive, and then you wouldn't have to worry about paying shipping, which is going to be an arm and a leg. Um, so, like if you were local and could come pick it up, then I wouldn't have a problem. But I think trying to get one in Minnesota is going to be an issue. Uh, all right, that's what's up, B. Was gonna get a pellet from my girlfriend, but now I'm thinking a massive build now. She's intimidated with my stick burners. Omar, if that's the case, man, I tell you, the pellet would be the way to go over the master build because it's charcoal. And charcoal can be intimidating for some people, but it does have like the PID controller like a pellet. I don't know, man. I'm kind of torn now that I'm thinking about it. But I don't know. Having the pellet cooker, I highly recommend a pellet cooker, especially not for because it's a woman, but for ease of operation. I mean, seriously, turning a dial to letting it come up to temperature, well, actually letting it come on. Then you set the dial to temperature, close the door, let it come up to temperature, and all you really have to do is make sure the pellets don't run out. Yeah. This is in the cold where you live of all the coolers you have. What she thinks she's to handle during the winter. Vicky, Vicky cookers, I guess. Vicky, definitely. Um, she doesn't care. She doesn't care if it's hot outside. She doesn't care if it's cold outside. She just chugs along, man. Yeah. Cookers are not cookers. Yeah, I hear you. Actually, know where I can get a smooth 55-gallon drum that's close to Louisville, Kentucky. I do not, man. See, that's the thing. I looked up when I found the source of drums. Was this girl who hit me up? She was a past computer student of mine. She worked in a pharmaceutical place, and they would get um, alcohol sent to them in the 55-gallon drums. And we got to talking one day, or actually, she hit me up and she said, "Hey, could you use one of these 55-gallon drums?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "All right, my manager says you can come get them because we have to pay to get them taken away." I'm like, "What?" I will get as many of them as I can get. I think I went and got a dozen of them at the time. And I've been slowly but surely like using them, trickling down, and I've used them, over the years. So I looked out and got some. But I mean, you may be able to find something similar to that. But look on Craigslist, OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, the normal usual suspects. Only thing, just be prepared. The smooth ones are more expensive. I mean, you can probably pay $50 to $100 for just the drum. So just be mindful, be wary, and also double check to see what was stored in it. Because the worst thing you can do is get like a drum that has some harsh chemicals in it that are seeped into the metal, and you can't. I mean, you can't burn that out. So, thanks, Chris. Just trying to keep me up. Insulated smokers definitely for the win. Yeah, Troy. Everybody. Yeah. I'm sure Malcolm Reed sells them. Yeah, he probably does. Oh man, another comment. Yeah, drum smokers. I don't know, man. I appreciate it. No problem. No problem. All right, look, I'm almost finished this beer. When have I ever taken 3 hours to drink 5 beers? I'm normally drinking way faster than that, but this is a good one, fellas. Really appreciate you hanging out. Seriously, I wouldn't do this, if it weren't for you guys who were hanging out, still asking questions and just kind of shooting the breeze. I'd be asleep by now. So, you guys have a great evening. Seriously, really can't say thank you guys so very much enough for hanging out and always showing support. And the problem is I can't. Yeah, I want to post the. I can't post the comment here. I don't know why it doesn't allow me to post a comment. Like I can't comment in my own video. Super chat, nope. Nah. Anyway. Alright guys, you guys have a great rest of the evening, and be on the lookout for tomorrow morning's video. It is the comparison, the direct comparison, cooking St. Louis spares with the pink butcher paper, the brown butcher paper, the white butcher paper, and aluminum foil. Taste tester number 1 does a great job explaining the differences between the ribs, and you guys will see it tomorrow. All right, Mimi, Adam, Los, Be Easy, Blaze One, right back at you. Omar, see ya. All right, I'm out.